You said that you love winning. What drives you more, the love of winning or the hate of losing?
Maybe equally, maybe both. I don't like losing, and I do like winning.
Say his name and he appears.
This is a friendship that'll never ever end.
Greetings and welcome to Winning 2024. How's everybody doing this evening? Hope you are all doing and living well. Boom. All right. We are here and we are on our way. Thank you to all the Winner Circle members. Scrolling at the bottom of the screen. If you have a gifted membership, you can become just like these fine people right here and support the channel on a monthly basis. You will get your prepaid super chat at the beginning of each month, and I hope you will use it because I'd love to hear what you have to say. And thank you for once for being a member. Also, thank you to Shelly and Wolfram for being subscribers over on Rumble. I am broadcasting live on YouTube, Rumble, and X as always. And we are off and rolling. So make sure if you're not, please check out those other platforms wherever you're at. And you can subscribe and help support the channel and help us break this algorithm up from shadow banning, from repressing based smaller channels like mine and based crowds like I have right here today. Yeah. Let's see. I don't have my links yet. So let's see. What is going on there? Sorry, I'm just getting things organized. I got a big show tonight. I got a lot of stuff in store for you. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen a lot of fact checks out there, but I'm going to do a fact check our way, and I'm going to include a lot of different perspectives that people haven't shown yet. Because I realize, hey, people rushed out that right afterwards and doing their own thing. We're going to watch a little bit of that, but also pull up some other stuff tonight. We're going to be pulling content from not only YouTube, but also from other websites and from X as well. Lots of stuff to talk about. Lots of stuff. How's everybody doing out there? How is everybody doing out there? Yeah. How you guys doing? What's going on? Wolfram. He says, hi, Shelly. He says, make sure you subscribe to Shelly. And yeah, there you go. That's all I got. That's all I got right now. And there is Shelly saying hello to the Rumblers that are out there. Thank you so much for being here. And off we go. Did everybody get notifications for the show tonight? Did they show up? Because trying to suppress the base content. There we go. There's some more folks coming in. How you guys doing? Oh yeah, you did get it? Okay, cool. All right. Off we go. So guys, in case you hadn't heard this yet, before we get into the presidential debate aftermath stuff, Trump came out today and put out some additions to his policies, his tax policy, and it's really good stuff. So I don't know if anybody's seen this yet or not, but I wanted to start off with this, just kind of him adding to what he's going to be doing for us when he's elected president. And here it is.
Today, I'm also announcing that as part of our additional tax cuts, we will end all taxes on overtime. You know what that means? Think of that. Think of that. Think of that. That gives people more of an incentive to work. It gives the companies it's a lot easier to get the people. And, I went to some economists, great ones, and I said, what do you think? They said, it would be unbelievable. You'll get a whole new workforce by doing that. No taxes on overtime. The people who work overtime are among the hardest working citizens in our country. And for too long, no one in Washington has been looking out for them. Those are the people. They really work. They're police officers, nurses, factory workers, construction workers, truck drivers, and machine operators. It's time for the working man and woman to finally catch a break, and that's what we're doing because this is a good one.
Huh.
And I think it's going to be great for the country.
Hey, Daisy, how you doing?
So that's why we will be saying that if you're an overtime worker when you're past 40 hours a week, think of that. Your overtime hours will be tax-free. Okay, good. You're going to have it too.
Hey, yeah, that's good news right there, man. I should go on good news of the week, but no overtime tax, man. And I hope next is no tax on bonuses. And that's always a big bummer. And by the way, before I get into that, Wolfram, I looked over on the YouTube studio version of this, and by the way, I forgot to put it on ultra low latency tonight, so I may be a little delayed in responding. And I saw you did drop the links, and you did do your normal thing, and you did wipe your paws, lips, and how, but it didn't show up. It literally starts at where you said hi, Shelly, and that's all I got. So I missed all the normal stuff that you dropped there in the beginning. I was kind of like, I wonder where it is, and I don't know if it's because I'm using did you post this before I started? I'm using, okay, so StreamYards has upgraded. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the show. StreamYards has upgraded their whole platform, right? So not only did they upgrade it, they upped the price from like $25 a month to like almost $50. It's crazy, like overnight. Yeah, I hear you. But it's actually, I think it's StreamYards, and they have these things called reusable studios. So I'm trying to tonight, I'm testing this reusable studio where I can just have one for each show. Hey, Suzanne, how you doing? Hey, Ellie. Hey, welcome to the show, guys. And so I don't know if maybe it just didn't come in because it was posted before I started the stream, or I don't know if that's a thing. But we'll keep an eye on that. All right, we'll keep an eye on that. I do know you dropped those links, and I do know you wiped your paws, lipped, and how, and I do know that you had that. Listen to the wolf because he says, make sure you thumbs up, subscribe wherever you're at. Cost you nothing, and it helps the channel out greatly. Yeah, all that stuff just didn't come through in StreamYard for some reason. So that's what I was kind of like, oh, is something broken? Okay, it was before the stream started. We'll keep an eye on that. Hey, everybody. Hey, Lex, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Guys, we got a lot of stuff to go over tonight. Lots of stuff. In case you missed it when you were coming in, Trump rolls out a new policy proposal, which is no tax on overtime pay. And like I was saying, I hope that's also no tax on bonuses, because that's nothing's worse than when the company gives you bonus money and like you've earned it. And believe me, they'll think of any reason in the world to take that away from you. But if you've earned it, right? The government comes in and takes that away from you, and your bonus money shouldn't be taken away from you. It really just diminishes the bonus like you wouldn't believe. It sucks. So I've had many bonuses come in, and then suddenly it's like, ain't much there really. You get a little bit more. So it's not a lot of fun, especially when some people are expecting like, a good chunk, and then almost half of it's gone. It's just terrible. It's awful. So the way I'm going to do it tonight is I'm going to go, and there's a lot of people that have done the fact checking on Kamala, and I realized, I almost felt like I should have gone last night and just done all that, but let people roll out their fact checks, and then we can analyze them and go through them. But I've added to them. I've added to each one we're going to do, and there's some parts that people missed, that we got a little bit deeper insight into here, and I'll be able to show you that. But we'll just kind of do everything that's out there on that, and I'll add in some stuff. So we're gonna go point by point. I'm gonna show you some real on the ground footage from Springfield, Ohio. I'm gonna go through and debunk these things with actual, other kind of like takes, right? Some different takes that haven't been in some of the other fact checking videos that are out there, right? And I'll use some of those fact-checking videos as a starting point, but then we'll kind of jump off into our own conversations about it, like we normally do. But yeah, just letting you know, because I know that there's a lot of ones have already been played. I don't want you to feel like you're watching a rerun here. too much. And there's only so much you can say. Where if we're all on the same page, then it's going to come across, we're going to get the same information, but I will add to it. With more stuff. Of course, let's see, what am I looking for? I'm looking for this. Boom. All right, cool. Let's see what's going on out there, everybody. So good to see everybody. And I'm thinking, depending on how we do tonight, if I don't feel like we got everything in a reasonable amount of time, I may do a special show tomorrow and just go over some of the other stuff. So maybe an additional Winning 2024, which is amazing. But the first one this week was all about the debate, so that kind of took up that space where we usually do election stuff, and then we usually do like more immigration invasion, asylum invasion stuff on Thursday nights. That's kind of how it's been working out because of the bulk. Now tonight also, aside from just the election stuff, right, we're going to go into we're on rig watch, right? Rig watch. Say that 3 times fast. And of course, I'm going to be showing you some of the other rigging that's coming out. They're trying to pull in different places, and we got a variety of that this evening as well. And of course, there's not much J13 stuff going on now. Everybody's kind of chilled out on it. And outside, like I said, right now where we're at is we know everything that went on there. We got the base take here. We're not jumping the shark on any of this stuff. And we know that it's like, look, when you have a corrupt establishment, incompetence is going to flourish, right? And when you put bad people, you put the wrong people in positions of responsibility, you're going to get irresponsible behavior. That's what we saw, like not showing up to pick up your radios and all that stuff like that. That was a communication breakdown, which I said on day one was probably what happened, right? That's why this guy was allowed to do the things he did. But there's not too much going on out there, and people are kind of like, have moved on from it in a lot of ways. And then we're just waiting for the parents to talk, and we're waiting for, a deeper dive into the psychological state of this person's mind and what made him kind of do these things. And we're not going to get that any other way, except for really hearing from the people that are around him that really knew him, like his parents, if they ever come out and talk. I hope they do. I think they need to do that. I know it's going to be hard for them. So we're going to give them the time they need to grieve and get over the shock, which could take months, actually. Truthfully, T-Rex trucking, and that. And so when that comes back around, we'll talk about it again, right? So for right now, I think we've done a great job with that issue, and we kept it. Like I said, we kept it based in reality. We used real evidence. We used body cam footage. We used people that were taking the traditional incident analysis or mindset, not trying to be biased, not steered by bias one way or another. Just it is what it is. That's how you do these things. So if you haven't caught any of those episodes, just go back to Winning 2024. I think really the last one we did last week has a summary of it, and that was again, Jeff Alstroff has been a primary source for that investigation. You can just go to his channel and look at his stuff. It's amazing. I want you to know the truth. I want you to have the truth. And it doesn't matter whether I get a click, a view, or a thumb up out of it. I mean, I want you guys to just have the truth. That's what this is all about, right? I'm not in this for any kind of, I'd like to, I'm not any kind of greedy kind of situation here. I'd like to be, boosted up. I'd like to have the, more subscriber or whatever, thumbs up, more people here. All that stuff is great, right? And I'd like to be further out in the, and being known so I can be part of conversations that need to happen. But it has nothing to do with, me wanting to be anything. In fact, if I really wanted the attention and I really wanted to be that guy, I would have the camera on. So, I mean, as it is, I represent the idea that is winning reality. That's what we're all here, because we want to win reality. We want to win it back from the corrupt establishment that has been overriding it and turning it into a living hell year after year after year. So that's the fight we're in. That's the idea we're behind, and this is what we do here. All right. But I am going to be doing some degrifting tonight from election conspiracies that came out, particularly the earring thing. That's really annoying. And I had some statements out on X this week about that. It's just, it doesn't make our side look good. And people are hopefully starting to figure that out. When you're not paying attention to your business, you end up in situations like Tim Pool and Benny Johnson are in right now, where literally people are putting community notes on their posts saying these people were Russian paid by Russia $100,000 an episode or whatever a week. I mean, they're literally getting hammered with this. you got to take care of your business. You got to always protect it. And one way you do that is by not jumping the shark. I mean, I'm going to talk about some of that stuff, and I will. I don't know if I'm going to do any more of the GA school shooting stuff and degrifting, but there was some serious grifts out there about him being trans and all that stuff like that, which wasn't true. People just latched onto and I really think that either it's COINTELPRO or people that are just so bought into the establishment, they're putting stuff out there because they know now this like the top voices in the outside the establishment narrative will jump on these things and as a confirmation type of bias, right? And I think look, if I can figure it out, the freaking corrupt establishment can figure it out. Hey Ellie, how you doing? Welcome. Heidi, how you doing? Welcome, Heidi. Have you seen the Federalist Papers article debunking the 25 lies? There's a lot of people that have been. I was just talking about that. We're gonna go through it and do the big ones here today. But I didn't see that one particularly. But man, a lot of people have been doing that. It's great content and needs to be done because ABC wasn't going to do it, right? They didn't do it. We all watched that together. They were terrible. They were awful. So I've collected some additional ways to fact check, and we'll just run through that, and we'll see how that goes. And of course, any additional stuff I'm always willing to look at. T-Rex Trucking and more. I saw you, buddy. Where are you at? You're there saying, I'm here. You're welcome. Joking, because that is narcissistic vibe I got from Kamala upon further reflection. Yeah, you need to stop dating that girl. All right. Man, I don't know if you guys that have Discords. We'll see that we're here that I post my promos in, but I leave little notes sometimes for the people that are in my ads, my promos for the show. I leave little notes for the people that own those Discords, and they're usually pretty funny. So if you don't catch on to them, that's hilarious. But if you do and come here because I said something, that's even more hilarious. T-Rex, I left you a little note tonight. You might want to look. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. $20 super chat. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Tips are very important. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Absolutely. And we got some gifted memberships rolling in too. Wow. We just want to see all the stuff.
It's cold. Up good for Vietnam. It has to do. I can't imagine a more beautiful thing. It's cold. I can tell you all about it. I mean, look at this thing. Gonna try to the title anything.
All right, Shelly, thank you so much. Talking Trash and Truths, 5 gifted memberships, sponsoring the stream like a champ tonight. Thank you so much for that. And see, who did we get? We got Shelly Huckabee. Let's see. Graham, Financial Sum. I haven't met some of these people. Edward M. Lockwood. Pass. I haven't seen Pass in a while. Pass has a wrench. Pass needs to stop by and say thanks. I hope so. Weird Debbie. Haven't seen Weird Debbie in a while either, but hopefully they will stop in. And thanks, Shelly, for the giving them this great gift of memberships. Thank you so much, Shelly. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, guys, let's get rolling. The way we're going to do this is this. I'm going to start with kind of an overall take on it. I mean, I have my take on it. You guys know you were here. But let's listen to what the other people are talking about out there. We'll go to Mark Dice here first. If YouTube doesn't start too fast, and then we'll kind of work off of that. And I'll show you what I'm talking about, how we're going to do this tonight.
It was last night, and while it wasn't nearly as entertaining as the one against old Joe, which I guess was really more sad than anything else, Donald Trump did get some great zingers in, but it wasn't exactly.
I mean, I always have to speed it up a little bit.
Victory, because it wasn't just Donald Trump against Kamala Harris. It was 3 against 1. It was Donald Trump against Camel Face and the 2 different moderators, David Muir and whoever the other woman was. And
the other one, and the other one.
Lie after lie after lie, while pushing back and interrupting and supposedly fact checking Donald Trump, every chance that they could. Here she is completely ignoring their questions straight out the gate and pivoting to her unrelated prepared talking points.
When it comes to the economy, do you believe Americans are better off than they were 4 years ago?
So I was raised as a middle-class kid, and I am actually the only person on this stage who has a plan that is about lifting up the middle class and working people of America. I believe in the ambition, the aspirations, the dreams of the American people. And that is why I imagine and have...
That's why you're taking our tax dollars and giving it to the tens of millions.
That's why you're not answering the questions, because you come into this, I mean, it's psychology, right? It's all psychology here. They just come into this question. He asked about whether we're better off or not. And you go into some story about how you are just like everybody else. It's psychology, right? It's just this, it's really just it's a mind control exercise of how to massively subvert people, because they're waiting for the answer, right? So you're waiting for the answer. So to get to the answer you think is coming, you have to listen to all this shit. And by the time she gets through, you've probably forgotten she didn't answer the question, or you didn't, unless you're not paying attention.
It's of illegal aliens that you
right?
and old Joe have
enticed
to come and invade our country. But here's Donald Trump setting the
yeah,
record
she was never
straight
middle
and
class.
getting in.
I know, and how dare she say that? I mean, it's just the woman. That's pure evil when you don't care about it. You don't care about lying to millions and millions of people that are looking for you, looking to you, and expecting an honest answer, and who are supporting you. That you just, it's like peeing in their ears, right?
Quite the zinger.
Everything that she believed 3 years ago and 4 years ago is out the window.
Oh, cool.
She's going
Yeah,
to
we'll
my
come by.
philosophy now. In fact, I was going to send her a MAGA hat. She's gone to my philosophy. But if she ever got...
Yeah, stealing the no tax on tips plan, stealing his child tax credit plan, and then upping it $1,000, even stealing his idea for building a border wall now. Here's another one, which is a throwback to the 2020
They already built it. We just need to
vice
finish
presidential
it.
debates when Camelface was squaring off against Mike Pence.
Big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she went out... Wait a minute. I'm talking now. If you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar? She went out.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking. Okay.
And then there was this gem.
And we have a president that we don't even know if he's... Where is our...
He got back from... Look at that face. He got one back for Pence, and he doesn't even like Pence. That's how what a great guy is.
President. We don't even know if he's a president.
And just to clarify,
they threw him out of a campaign like a dog. We don't even know. Is he our president? But we have a president,
Mr. President,
that doesn't know he's alive.
Your time is up.
You mean this guy who's been on vacation for the last month and a half?
Right.
I mean, really, guess the last 3.5 years.
Does anybody even think about Joe Biden anymore? That's how forgettable he is, man. It's like, what? Oh, yeah, that's right. He still is president.
But you know what?
Going up to my granddaughter's birthday in New York. Then we're
I bet you're going to have a good time there, aren't you, Grabby?
watch
Grabby
the debate. And then tomorrow I'm doing 9/11.
That
I
touched
spoke to the vice
Biden.
president. She said, Tom,
He's doing 9/11. Huh? Well, actually,
doing
I think that
9/11,
was George W. Bush and his neocon friends. But anyway,
Yeah.
since the entire debate
they're
was set
your-
up so that
his
Kamala
friends,
Harris
too.
could spew a bunch of lies and anything Donald Trump said would be used against him. I mean, what's next? Is she going to repeat the same old tired fake news about Charlottesville and Donald Trump claiming that there were very fine people on both sides? Oh, wait, what's this?
Let's remember Charlottesville, where there was a mob of people carrying tiki torches.
Okay, crowd, you're the most educated base crowd out there. Who were the guys with the tiki torches? Who were the guys with the tiki torches? And who do they like? Who do they stand for? Who are they behind? Right? I'll give you the end of this comment, and then I'll give you the answer.
Spewing anti-Semitic hate. And what did the president then at the time say?
He condemned the actual Nazis who were
Yes.
there, and there were some, but did make it clear that there were very fine people on both sides of the arguments about whether or not the Confederate statues should or should not be removed from public places.
There were fine people on each side.
A claim so fake that even Snopes,
Even
after
Snopes.
7 years, finally did fact check it and admitted the obvious. No, Trump did not call neo-Nazis and white supremacists very fine people. All that it would have taken to realize that obvious fact the day that he made those statements back in 2017 would be to watch a 30-second clip of the press conference regarding the statements in question.
It's not the
You
liberals,
had people
but
in that
I'll answer
group
too.
that were there to protest the taking down of, to them, a very, very important statue and the renaming of a park from Robert E. Lee to another name. And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay?
Hey, Murph,
Yes,
how you
sir.
doing?
And this meme basically illustrates the gist of the entire debate. At one point,
Okay. So ask the question: who were the guys with the tiki torches? Who were the guys with the tiki torches? I'll give you a hint. They're wearing beige pants, right? I did a show on them. We did a show on them. That was the Patriot Front guys, anti-MAGA, anti-Trump, Patriot Front guys. So see how they blend those people in with us, right? That's what they do, right? And they try to put that on him. But those guys are not for Trump, right? They were out there to recruit. They were out there to cause a physical or confrontation. And they just latched onto that, right? They latched onto it because they that's part of their whole grift, right? But yeah, those guys are not part of what we do here. They're not part of the anti-establishment. They are fringe outsiders. And basically, when push comes to shove, they basically help the establishment. So they are establishment. That's the way it works. They fall for the establishment game, and they actually end up becoming useful idiots for them, even though they're probably like, no, we're not. No, we're not. But yeah, you are, because your results speak to who you are. Your results speak to who you are. So that's who those guys were. And of course, they kind of mush them in there, right? They mush them in there. And yeah, so of course she comes out with that and makes a fool out of herself. And that's great because we know it, right? But there are people that are out there that will never know the difference. And looking back at some old some people I used to know in their posts on a different platform recently, I saw the mind control is still very real with those people, and it made me feel very happy that I'm not around them anymore, because they were like, oh, she crushed it. No. And they had this meme of like, her making faces and like what a teacher does when you haven't read the assignment, and the faces the teacher makes when you try to comment on it. And I mean, just the mind control is so real with those people. And they're just, I mean, even in that kind of like their joyous state there, they're still venomous as hell. It's still so venomous. One girl who I know to be extremely promiscuous was talking about, I don't tend to say something, but a lot of my family's for Trump, but I choose love. I was like, well, if by love you mean promiscuity, yeah, I guess that's what you think it is. I could go on and on about that, but I'll just leave it right there. Let's go to the next one.
The debate really did go off the rails, especially if the viewers at home weren't following the unusual allegations regarding the Haitian migrants who have been settled across the country now because they want to brown your small town, but particularly the ones who have been settled.
Wait a minute. No, okay. So the anti-Semitic, the free Palestine people are the socialists. They're the queer Marxists. They're kind of like, they're not really, they mix them in with liberals, right? But they're not really the liberals. They're kind of like, if they're left of that, So they're kind of like this other kind of fringe group. They're kind of like Patriot Front. Like if you were to put those two groups together, that's the left. That is the left version of Patriot Front. They're not with the teams, right? They're not with they'll say they're not with the establishment or the anti-establishment, right? But they both think they are, right? And they both don't realize that all they're doing is becoming useful idiots for the establishment. They don't get it. So this is a very like low IQ kind of like very boxed in narrative, very indoctrinated, very, very subverted groups, right? One on one side, one on the other. One's like more towards the Nazi propaganda, one's more towards they're all Marxists at heart, right? They're all Marxists at heart. They're just not really that smart. They don't really realize it because they've been brainwashed into this group mentality, because at the end of the day, they need to belong to something and they can't fit in anywhere else. And that's where they end up. So they're easily indoctrinated into these groups. One goes one way, one goes the other. These are the fringes. These are the fringe groups that they talk about, but then they try to mix it in. So they try to mix Patriot Front fringeness in with, MAGA. And on our side, we tend to mix in the socialist, queer, Marxist groups, fringeness in with the Democrat Party, right? But they're not going to. They don't care. That's why they're protesting at these at her rallies. That's why they're disrupting things at our rallies and screaming free Palestine at them, right? They're against capitalism in general. They're against capitalism altogether. So whatever, it doesn't matter if it's Democrat capitalism or Republican capitalism. They're just against capitalism. They ride the oppressor oppressed narrative of Marxism, which we watched a great documentary called Beneath Sheep's Clothing. It's not been seen by enough people. It needs to be seen by more and more people because it's so enlightening about this real incursion of Marxism in our society and where it's trying to take us, right? These people are the grassroots kind of level of that, in a sense that they are the ones putting the books in schools. They're the ones on school boards. They're the ones, like, they don't go for the politics. They go for the cultural stuff. They go for the ways to manipulate people from the youngest generation up, right? So they're trying to indoctrinate and mislead the youth, the very youngest amongst us in schools, right? And then they go to colleges and they disrupt colleges, right? And they try to recruit at colleges at the next level when they're ready. See, by the time they get to college, they're ready to be recruited. So that's why they're showing up at like Columbia University and disrupting there. They're trying to trigger those people into joining them, into becoming part of them, right? And look, you can be like us. You can be one of us. You can be here with us, you know? And I'm sure there's a lot more tactics that are going on that are never filmed, like the inclusion tactics, you know, the ways to make it, like cult tactics, right? Cult tactics. And then on the fringe right with Patriot Front and groups like that, you got the same thing going on. That's Charlottesville, right? You can be like us. You can be with us. Are you angry? You can join us. You can fight with us. You know, we'll fight against these people. And you think you're fighting for one thing, and then before long, you've made friends with them. They brought you in, and they start slowly indoctrinating you into, you know, stepping outside the bounds, right? That's the way that works. So anyways, here we go.
Settled in Springfield, Ohio, and their, how shall I say, alleged unusual dietary habits, because Donald Trump just dumped this on the audience.
And look at what's happening to the towns all over the United States. And a lot of towns don't want to talk. It's not going to be Aurora or Springfield. A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country. And it's a shame.
Now,
this is a summary. These memes are great, by the way, coming up. So check out these memes. They're so funny. But I'm going to take you into the deeper on the ground investigations to back up these claims. So here we go.
May or may not be true. That remains to be seen. But they have sparked some hilarious memes like this: the English breakfast versus the Haitian breakfast. And people have been using the AI.
Oh yeah, these are great. I had to do it.
Like this one, Donald Trump saving the cats from the Haitians. Some of which Donald Trump himself is reposting over on Truth Social, which is causing a major meltdown in the media. Here's another one showing Donald Trump protecting the cats and the ducks, another rumored delicacy among the Haitian immigrants. These are some of the best memes that I've seen in a while. It feels like 2016.
Yeah, remember when illegal aliens who ate cats was fiction? Good times.
Meme magic is back. Remember when illegal aliens who ate cats was fiction? Good times. And this, Harris for president, a cat in every pot. Here's Congressman Eric Swalwell having a complete meltdown after the House Judiciary Committee's Twitter account reposted one.
What in the hell is this? The chairman.
Well, it's not a Chinese spy that you're dating. So what is it?
We protect our ducks and kittens in Ohio because he goes down some crazy rabbit hole, completely debunked that.
This just shows how uninformed or how, like, you know, evil this guy is. I think it's both.
Aliens are eating pets. Oh my God. Are you okay, Mr. Chairman? I don't know why you would do this. I don't
know why you date a Chinese spy. You know, we haven't forgotten.
Okay. I don't know if the aliens who are eating your ducks
I would call him that. I would call him on that every day. Look at with his wedding ring showing
right now. But Mr. Chairman, this is a serious issue. These people have loved ones who have been lost, and you tweeted this.
What people have loved? I mean, back in Haiti. I'm sure they do, but I mean, what does that have to do with that? They're actually doing it.
Did take her bait several different times and got thrown off topic and went off on different tangents. But overall, it was not a bad debate. Wasn't a great debate. And again, it was 3 against 1. But he did.
Right. You know what? And if you look at the aftermath polls, all the polls went up for Trump. Right. It actually, even though he did, right, he did do some of that stuff. And we were kind of like iffy coming out of it. You know, that's why I waited a day. You know, that's why I waited a day to think about it. I know a lot of people got out there faster with some of this stuff, but that's not me. I come in, I walk it in, I make sure I got everything right. And I had more time to think about it and see the results of it, see the real aftermath of the presidential debate. and he's coming out on top. I mean, people were not impressed by her, no matter how much mainstream media propaganda is out there trying to tell you that they were, no matter how many gleeful leftists are out there saying that she won and this is great and we feel so good about things. They're a very small group, man. They really are. They're smaller, much smaller than we have had it impressed upon us by these the votes in 2020 was, for example, right? And I know that there's a lot of people out there make a lot of noise, but if you really step back and look, you'll see that it's not as many as we actually are made to think. And they're they a lot of people that were in the middle, like the independents, they're trending with the right right now. They're trending with the right because they're the ones that aren't really bought into either party. So they're looking for the truth. They're looking for people to be upfront and not to jerk them around. And technically I'm an independent, so there you go. I'm part of it as well. And so they so yeah, don't be fooled by that stuff, man. The aftermath of it is that Trump did well enough, and he and the result of what she did actually probably hurt her more than helped her.
Finished strong with this simple closing statement.
So she just started by saying she's going to do this, she's going to do that, she's going to do all these wonderful things. Why hasn't she done it? She's been there for 3.5 years. They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. They've had 3.5 years to create jobs and all the things we talked about. Why hasn't she done it? She should leave right now, go down to that beautiful White House, go to the Capitol, get everyone together and do the things you want to do, but you haven't done it and you won't do it.
That's right. And at this point, I don't even think it's about trying to convince any undecided voters to vote for one particular candidate over the other. I think everybody has pretty much made up their mind, or they're leaning in one direction and they're not going to lean back in the other. It's about convincing those people to actually get out and vote. Subscribe to my channel and check back on a regular basis, because you're not going to find independent analysis and content like this anywhere else. So stay tuned, and I will see you soon.
All right. Not just anywhere else. I'm sharing your stuff, Mark. All right, cool. So kind of going through that, I have like Tatum did some stuff here, and he has some stuff here that goes to these points. So I'm going to be skipping through this video to get to those points, right? But I suggest, if you really want to, go watch all of Tatum's videos on this matter. And T-Rex, I see what you're saying out here. And he says, to be completely fair, don't be, you're going to be completely fair. Like, when are you not completely fair? I have heard mixed reports. Well, yeah, I'm sure. Like some of the people that want to cover it up are having this hard empathy for Haitian, which they should have had this hard empathy for them back when Hillary Clinton stole billions of dollars that was supposed to go to them after the big hurricane that wiped out their island. I mean, that's what I had. I still have empathy for them over that. They're owed money. The Clintons and the leftists and the Democrats and the establishment owe Haitian. They should rebuild that country. We should rebuild it completely for them, because the freaking Clintons came out with the Clinton Foundation and hijacked the fund, the world fund that was going towards them. Oh, we'll take care of it. We'll make sure they get the money. And then they took the money and they gave it to their friends. And Haitians hate the Clintons because of that. The Clintons they see a Haitian, they better go the other way. That's all I got to say. There isn't one Haitian out there that likes the Clintons whatsoever. So that's squarely on them, but it's squarely on us for letting them hijack it. And I think they're owed a debt in their country. Like, we should be helping them in their country. And I know that a lot of even billionaires were flying food in because of that. They took it upon themselves to help Haiti when the Clintons stabbed them in the back and stole all the money that people from around the world gave them. I mean, that's a real thing. When Trump ran in 2016, that was one of my big talking points. Remember Haiti? That was so. I get it, But to take 20,000 Haitians out of nowhere, I don't know why all of a sudden they're here, and dump them in a city in Ohio where they almost changed the demographics of the town, and people can't handle the influx, and they can't combat. They can't handle any of the cultural conflicts they're having there, right? That's completely unfair to the people, to the Americans in Ohio, and it shouldn't be happening. But the whole dogs and cats things is ramping. I would say it's ramping up. Like, there's things that I don't think are out there yet, but you'll see. I got some video from some underground footage that says that people are noticing that cats are disappearing. So what do they think they're doing with them? Giving them a good home and, feeding them catnip? I don't think so. But the car wrecks and people eating food in the grocery stores, yeah, that's a real thing. without paying for it and then putting it back on the shelves. Rising car jacks and the ducks and geese going missing from the park is real. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to show you that too. And that's how I'm going to handle the next part of the show. To kind of do this a little bit differently than everybody else. I'm going to take some of the talking points out of the video. Oops, what did I do that for? And then I'm going to jump and kind of talk about each one. And we'll get through this fact checking here pretty quickly. Let me see. This is the one I want right here. Okay. But he has some footage in here that other people don't have, and I just want to kind of grab that. And we're going to talk about that exact point T-Rex is making. So here we go. Sorry if I'm a little all over the place right now. This is an interesting show because I have so much information. I'm trying to parse it in the correct way. So hang with me. And here we go. So let me jumping through this.
This debate is so hard to watch when you are very clear on the fact that Kamala started it gaslighting Americans. It's really sad that Americans, I see my friends on TikTok on Facebook who are like, oh my God, she's cooking him. Oh my God, she's like doing amazing.
Yeah, right.
She's lying in her amazingness.
And they don't know.
You're not stupid enough
they don't
to
care.
believe her. All you got to do is a little bit of fact checking, but no, that's not what you're going to do. You're going to automatically call him a lie because the media and them have helped you believe that he was a lie. You ain't going to fact check it. You ain't going to look. You're not going to look. You are literally just going to automatically believe him. But are you noticing that all she keeps leaning on is this is why I'm going to be better because I don't incite the things that he do.
Ladies and gentlemen, I had to do this. You watch.
Okay. So yeah, I just want to show you that. And I want to point out something too. Something that I realized along the way. I show Brandon Tatum a lot, and I show Greg Foreman, Black Conservative Perspective, a lot on the show, and because their content is based. And I'm looking at like how they're handling all the news that's coming out in the world and how they're doing it. These people, these guys are more based than a lot of the. And I have to use this term just to differentiate things. But a lot of the white content creators that are out there, and it's like while Alex Jones and Benny Johnson and the Quartering are out there about talking about this earpiece earring thing and trying to make money off that by jumping the shark, they're just not doing their research on these things, right? Instead of focusing on doing things like this, right, and other issues that they're addressing that are very important. I mean, they're out there doing that, and these guys are out here putting out better content than they are. And here's the other thing. They're not calling them out for it. And you know why? Because they're like, that's not important, man. They could literally come out and say, look, these guys over here are crazy. They're not, what are they talking about? We're trying to save our country, and they're talking about all this weird stuff, right? But they don't. I think that's the difference in quality needs to be called out. I mean, it's the quality difference is I'm playing them for news. I'm playing them for good stories and good news and breaking news and things like that, right? But they are, and then when I get to the end, if these guys do some good stuff, I play it because I want to play it. I want them to be, I want the bigger voices to be out there, and I want to be able to analyze what they're saying. But also, how many of those guys end up in the degrifting section of the show, like at the end, right? I mean, I'm constantly having to degrifts them. What is wrong with these guys, man? I don't understand why they can't stop and take a deep breath and look at what they're telling people. I mean, I really do. It really makes it sus. Is it greed? Are they being handled? I mean, it's like it brings these things up that I don't even want to talk about, but it really does make it sus. However, at the end of the day, we're all on the same team. We're all voting Trump. And so we got to stick with that through November. And then after that, we can talk about new media and what the new media needs to aspire to do. And I think Tatum and I don't agree with everything he says. I think Greg Foreman are two people that are prime examples of what the new media needs to look like versus outrage corn and shark jumping, where they're using hearsay, they're using bad sources, they're using lying eyes research, trademark, and they're knee-jerk reacting to everything. And it's just, at the end of the day, they have this fervor about trying to be first to market about stuff. And they're like competing over nothing. They're competing over putting out garbage first. And it's like, I don't know. I just had to say something good about these guys because they do such good work. And I do refer to their content a lot in the analysis that I do. And so if you want base takes, man, you're in the right spot. I promise you that. And if you want me to show you how people are grifting you, I can do that too, because I've been at this for a long time. I've been doing this for 2 decades. And even though my channel here is new and it's small and it's got small reach, this is a new creation of mine. But I've been doing this for a long time. That's why I have the background and I have the information that I have. And I've been able to draw the correlations I have and show people how this mind control, this information-based mind control, traumatic-based mind control enables the corruption in our society and keeps the cycle of control going for those who, the global ownership class, the ones who want to control us, the ones who want Agenda 2030 pushed through so they can dominate us, right? So, and then all their puppets in between, right? So that's where I get this information from. That's what I do. And so I'm happy that you're here and thank you for being here. And if you want to have base takes, if you want somebody who's dedicated to telling you the absolute truth and believes that it's better than the truth and be right, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, really help me get out there so I can reach more people and kind of get people out of these grifts and actually introduce them to really based information. Let's go.
Watch the debate like I did. There's a ton of things.
Okay, so I'm going to jump ahead, right? Okay, here we go. Gun buybacks.
Gun buyback. I'm going to let it roll. Roll the flip.
Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away. So stop with the continuous lying about this stuff.
Okay.
And you see how many people say gun on here? It's like, and then you have idiots that are out there saying, well, they're pew-pews. I mean, you can say the word. It's a word in the English dictionary. You can say it.
The moderator didn't fact check her. So we did.
I do believe that we need to do buybacks. I support buybacks.
How mandatory are your gun buyback program?
It's mandatory.
We want to ban assault weapons. We need an assault weapons ban.
We need reasonable gun safety laws in this country, starting with universal background checks and a renewal of the assault weapon ban.
I'm also in favor of the assault weapons ban.
Of universal background checks, red flag laws. Congress needs to have the courage to act and renew the assault weapons ban.
So it's clear that we must renew the assault weapons ban.
Let's have an assault weapons ban.
We need an assault weapons ban.
Demanding, as we all do, red flag laws, universal background checks, and a renewal of the assault weapons ban.
We're saying we need reasonable gun safety laws, including universal background checks, and to your point, Chris, a renewal of the assault weapons ban. It's just the right thing to do, but we still need an assault weapons ban.
And yeah, I am radical. I do believe that we need to get radical about what we are doing and take it seriously.
And decisions is my values have not changed.
She can't even define what an assault weapon is. Nobody can. You know? I'm going to help you with that in a little bit, Ellie. I got the evidence. She didn't have it. Look, this is not the same thing in her ear. I'm going to get to that later on, I promise you. And by the end of it, I think you'll see that this is just a cope, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. But I mean, everybody wants to try to do this earpiece thing about debates. You know what? Fine. If she had an earpiece in, whoever was talking to her didn't do her any favors. All right, didn't help her. You know, so either way, I'm going to show you that I'm going to pull up the products. I'm going to show you what she's actually wearing. I'm going to make sure it's clear to everybody here that, that conspiracy grift is no good. But yet they pushed it out. It's pretty goddamn sad. All right, so we did Charlottesville already. So we're gonna skim past that. All right, here we go. This one too. And I'm going to come back to these with like I promised you with new footage of stuff. But check this out.
And I give tremendous credit to those 6 justices.
There is no state in this
And hi,
country where it is
Mimsy.
illegal to kill a baby after it's born. Madam Vice President, I want to get your response to President Trump.
There's no exception. There was a very contentious committee hearing yesterday when Fairfax County.
And this is when Donald Trump was talking about the former governor. This is him talking about abortion after birth.
Will she allow abortion in the 8th month, 9th month, 7th month?
Come on.
Okay, would you do that? Why don't you ask her that question?
Why don't you answer the question? Would you
because
veto?
under Roe v.
Answer
Wade,
the question,
you
would you veto?
could do abortions in the 7th month, the 8th month, the 9th
That's
month,
not true.
and probably.
You know what I'm saying? Like if she got earpiece and that person, whoever told her to say that, didn't help her out. She looked ridiculous. So immature. She didn't answer the question. She answered it with another question. Why don't you do this? Well, then why don't you do that? Well, why don't you do that? That's not a conversation.
Probably after birth. Just look at the former governor of Virginia. The governor of Virginia said we put the baby aside and then we determine what we want to do with the baby.
Delegate Kathy Tran made her case for lifting restrictions on 3rd trimester abortions, as well as other restrictions now in place. And she was pressed by a Republican delegate about whether her bill would permit an abortion, even as a woman is essentially dilating, ready to give birth. And she answered that it would permit an abortion at that stage of labor. Do you support her measure and explain her answer?
Yeah, and I wasn't there, Julie, and I certainly can't speak.
This is a guy who lost his election because of this one interview, which is a great thing
for Delegate Tran. But I would tell you first thing I would say, this is why decisions such as this should be made by providers, physicians, and the mothers and fathers that are involved. There are, when
listen to the contradiction here too. This is something nobody ever points out. I'm going to point it out here. Watch this.
Talk about third trimester abortions. These are done with the consent of obviously the mother, with the consent of the physicians, more than one physician.
With the consent of the physicians. All right. Is that not another person telling her what to do with her body? I mean, people forget that part, right? They're like, okay, well, we can't have the government saying you can't. So we need the government to say you can. It's still the same thing. The contradictions, the fallacy in this argument is so ingrained that people don't even see it anymore. And yet, listen.
By the way, and it's done in cases where there may be severe deformities. There may be a fetus that's non-viable.
It's also done as birth control.
So in this particular example, if a mother is in labor, I can tell you exactly what would happen. The infant would be delivered. The infant would be kept comfortable. The infant would be resuscitated if that's what the mother and the family desired. And then
kept comfortable, resuscitated. The infant was born. Like, why would you need to resuscitate it? Like, how are you going to do that? You're gonna end it and then resuscitate it. What are you talking about here?
Discussion would ensue between the physicians and the mother.
If they're in there to get an abortion, why would they want to resuscitate it? Why? I mean, again, this guy's so full of shit.
So I think this was really blown out of proportion. But again, we want the government not to be involved in these types of decisions. We want.
Yeah, you do. You want them to say that you want them to say yes. You want them to say yes. And then you want to give a doctor's authority too. Like, okay, what's the difference between that and the government giving authority to? I mean, what are you talking about, dude? This shit makes no sense.
The decision to be made by the mothers and their providers. And this is why, Julie, that
and the providers, they have to make the decision too.
Of whom are men, by the way, shouldn't be telling a woman what she should and shouldn't.
Yet the doctor might be a man. So what are you going to do then?
Be doing with her body.
And do you think multiple physicians should have to weigh in as is currently required? She's trying to lift that requirement.
Well, I think it's always good to get a second opinion. And
okay, so now it's a committee. Now it's by committee. Okay, I thought this was an individual choice. Now it's by committee. You guys don't even know what the hell you're doing.
For at least two providers to be involved in that decision, because these decisions shouldn't be taken lightly. And so, I would certainly support more than one provider.
All right, let's go back.
Yeah, I bet you would. And you want to make sure that they can do whatever they want to whenever they want to. Right. That's telling people what to do as well. Right. And that's directing them as well. And then you're going to dictate that it have to have multiple doctors. Like, that's a great thing. Right. Well, those are probably going to be, there might be a man in there. There might be a man in there telling her what to do. I mean, is it different? You have to have two female doctors. You think you're going to get around it that way? I mean, come on, dude.
The phones now for the governor. We're going to talk now with Mike, who's calling.
We're going to call the abortion facility, and I'm going to tell them I'm pregnant with a 32-week fetus, as you say. Hi, I just turned 32 weeks pregnant. Am I able to come in for an abortion ASAP? Can I still have an abortion at 34 weeks?
Yes, ma'am. I just have to do an intake. Do you
have
about 5 minutes? Sure, I have 5 minutes. Yeah, I just found out that she could have Down syndrome. I can still have the abortion, right, even though she has Down syndrome?
Yeah, so we just have to do an intake because the doctor.
It doesn't fucking matter. That's late-term abortion, ma'am. That's an abortion in the 8th month of pregnancy that's discriminatory based on someone's genetic code. She just confirmed she would commit an abortion on me with my child who's viable and can live outside the womb.
They didn't push back on at all.
Boom.
They came out and said there is no state in the union that allows this.
Have you guys seen that lady before? That's something. Hopefully, that's something new for you.
Clips. How can they not? How can the moderators not fact check this? They actually fact check the complete lie. Here's another thing. Governor Tim Walz, babies born alive in botched abortions were left to die. Then he removed the reporting requirements. Facts. All right, let's move on to the defund the police.
She was big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she went.
Where do you stand on defund?
Hold on. Just so I don't have to jump back, I'm gonna stop that right there, and I'm gonna bring up the next piece I have for this. Oh, okay. Let's save that right there. That right there. It's this one. Okay, I got one more of these things in case that one's not convincing enough, or for some people, or they think that you know, that it's only one place. Check this out.
Right, calling the Care Clinic in Bethesda, Maryland.
Thank you for calling here. How can I help you?
I am looking to have an abortion.
How far along are you?
I'm 34 right now. I am in a pretty desperate situation. My boyfriend is kind of out of the picture now, so I don't really have any support.
An abortion at any stage is actually much safer than delivering a term pregnancy. It's a 4 to 5 day procedure. We do some basic lab work on you and start to dilate your cervix. After that, we do what we call the fetal injection. A needle is inserted through the abdomen and into the fetal heart where lidocaine is injected, and that will completely numb the fetus so there's no pain. And then after that, we inject a medication called digoxin and another medication called KCL into the fetal heart, which will slow and then stop the fetal heartbeat. And then on that 4th day, depending on how your cervix is dilated, we'll break your water, and then we'll give you a medication called misoprostol. Misoprostol will sort of induce contraction and increase the dilation of your cervix. You're going to have contractions and cramping, and then we'll assist you in sort of pushing in the induction and then remove all of the products of conception. You're definitely going to feel discomfort and cramping and a lot of pressure, but we do give you fentanyl and Versed during the procedure.
Oh, some
we
fentanyl.
specialize in later trimester care. Our doctor is very well versed in what he's doing, and he's very good.
So I'm not like a rare situation. Y'all help women this late in pregnancy all the time.
All the time.
There you go. Yeah, Lion Kamala Harris. Lion Kamala. That gets overused on that side too much, doesn't it? All right. So okay, so that's all I got about that. Okay, trigger over. No worries. All right, defund the police. Let's go back to Tatum and let's rock it.
The police.
Right. So here's the thing: defund the police. The issue behind it is that we need to reimagine how we are.
Never trust the word reimagine. That is a globalist term for change it to something completely different. Reimagine it. This ain't freaking Disneyland, man.
Creating safety. And
it may be Clown World.
Many cities that have 1/3 of their entire city budget focused on policing. We know that is not the smart way and the best way or the right way to achieve safety. For too long, the status quo thinking has been you get more safety by putting more cops on the street. Well, that's wrong.
And then also, again, what we need to do about demilitarizing our schools and taking police officers out of schools.
On that point,
how would that work out in Georgia?
The bloodbath law.
Trump, the candidate, had said in this election there will be a bloodbath if this and the outcome of this election is not to his liking.
Are you? I mean, dude, that right there is inciting people, right, to fear, using fear mongering, inciting people to believe that when Trump wins, they have to go do something radical and violent because something's going to happen to them, right? And and that also means that if Trump gets cheated out of it, right, that any type of protest or rebuttal against that, any kind of mass protest or speaking out against it is going to be directed in that direction, as in, here comes the bloodbath he promised, right? But she's lying, and we all know it means financial.
Mexico has taken over a period of 30 years, 34% of the automobile manufacturing business in our country. Think of it, went to Mexico. China now is building a couple of massive plants where they're going to build the cars in Mexico and they think that they're going to sell those cars into the United States with no tax at the border. Let me tell you something to China. If you're listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal, those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, and you think you're going to get that, you're going to not hire Americans, and you're going to sell the cars to us. Now, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole, that's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it.
I was at the Capitol.
Which is 100% bloodbath refers to economy. All you got to do is look up the definition of bloodbath. Yeah. The moderators knew it, but they didn't say anything.
But the ignorant people that are out there just partying their lives away, right? And sitting in little echo chambers of confirmation bias on their favorite platforms with their friends or the friends they went to college with, or they hang out and they party with or whatever, right? Those people that are sitting there just brainwashing each other, one after the other, right? They won't even bother, too goddamn lazy to go look it up. And even if they did, they would be in denial and they would find some way to, well, he didn't mean that. That's not what he meant. He doesn't know what that means. He's too stupid. They would do that. They would create fallacies to secure their false belief system.
They didn't fact check. Why didn't they do that? Let's do it more. January 6th. This woman claimed that she was there on January 6th. Roll the clip.
On January 6th. I was the vice president-elect. I was also an acting senator. I was there.
Yeah, she was there. She didn't say when, because she's a lying, you know what. See you next Tuesday.
Tonight of Kamala Harris. Where were you on January 6th when you were almost hurt or killed by a pipe bomb outside of the DNC? Because you've never spoken of this publicly, and we're kind of confused why you keep implying to people you were at the Capitol when you were not. You were at the Democrat national headquarters there at the DNC in Washington, D.C.
Uh-oh.
Here's a video of her leaving the Capitol building before anything happened.
Oh, look. Yeah, there's no
surveillance video of her leaving the Capitol
in the
building
hallway,
before
huh?
anything happened. How are you there? Fact checkers got this video like we got the video. And they didn't fact check this woman. Project 2025 been debunked 1,000 times. She said it on the debate. The moderators didn't say nothing about it.
You're going to hear tonight is a detailed and dangerous plan called Project 2025.
Okay, stop. This is one that nobody caught. This was the last mention of Project 2025 the entire night, wasn't it? She said tonight we're going to hear a detailed plan about it. A detailed plan. You know, like she knew. Right? This is a way of putting like a skunk on like what he's supposed to say for the rest of the night. Like it's all going to be this. Right? It was never mentioned again past this point. Not many people noticed that slip there. This is our opening statement. This is our opening statement. This is for the let's see. Let's do something different for this one right here.
Baby steps? It means setting small, reasonable goals for yourself, one day at a time. One tiny step at a time.
Baby steps.
It works.
Best of all, I don't pay property tax.
T-Rex Trucking and more. Thank you for the $5 super chat. He sends $5 to say, I stand by my opinion that nobody was really swayed either way by this debate. If they hadn't already decided, who are they voting for? Well, I'm going to show you something in a little bit that might change your mind. But thank you for the $5 super chat. Yeah, thank you so much for that, man. Stick around because I got something that might change your mind about that. Let's see. I mean, honestly, if you're deep blue, if your mind is so controlled by the Democratic establishment, the Democratic Party, like many of the people I've talked about tonight, that are out there just thinking that she won and this is great and Trump is bad. I even saw one very, very damaged person I know who drinks and does a lot of stuff, say that she couldn't even look at his face, couldn't even look at his face, like Trump's face. That's like her whole thing. So she just looked at Kamala the whole time and she thought it was hilarious. While we were disgusted by the way that Kamala, she thought that she was hilarious and was just, I could tell you stories about that girl. I'll tell you what.
That the former president intends on implementing if he were elected again.
Breaking news is Trump has nothing to do with Project 2025.
Oh, here's the guy that does. This is his thing. Paul Vans, the architect of Project 2025. This guy right here. Right now, if he's on CNN saying this, by the way, and by the way, the same group of people we're talking about, the first veilers, the ones bought into the establishment narrative, they would just do the same thing again. They would say, oh no, he's just lying, he's just covering for Trump. So there's their conspiracy fallacy, right? There's their conspiracy grift. They have their own too, man. That's what I'm saying. It's not good for our side. We don't want to be like them. So listen to this guy again. I'm going to back this up because I had to say something. If you haven't seen this before, here it is.
Elected again.
Breaking news is Trump has nothing to do with Project 2025. Sure, a lot of us have worked in the admin and came together, but this started long before he even announced for president.
Verify here.
Nothing to do with Project 2025. They did not fact check. They got the same video I just seen.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go with the eating the pet thing. This is a big one.
You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well,
All
I've
this-
seen people on television.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just say here, this is the
people on television say my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager.
I'm not taking this from
but
television.
the people
I'm
on
taking it from
television
the city
saying their
manager.
dog was eaten.
Oh, the city manager. Ooh, an appeal to authority. Wow. What a great fallacy. Appeal to authority. You have no business doing this. This guy has no business talking right now. No business talking. Let Trump say what he wants to say. Let people go research it. But you're going to tell them what to think, right? Because you're an establishment useful idiot. You're an establishment prostitute. That's what you're going to do. This guy right here. Hit this guy right here. You're ruined for life for kneeling down and taking in the phallus of the establishment. You know, I mean, you are just done.
By the people that went there.
Clark County.
This is a police radio communication about a person calling in regarding Haitians
Hey,
eating
you
these
read it.
animals. Listen to it.
Communications.
Yes, ma'am. I got a question. This is a non-emergency line, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I'm sitting here. I'm riding on the trail going to my orientation for my job today, and I see a group of Haitian people. There was about 4 of them. They all had geese in their hand. They got away. I couldn't make out the first 3 of the license plate, but I got the numbers. The last number was 9898, and it was a gray Toyota Tacoma they took off on.
A
It was
gray
about 4 of them.
Toyota Tacoma.
There was 2 men.
What kind of money are they coming over here with? You're broke in Haiti. How do you get a Toyota Tacoma? These are expensive trucks, man. Toyotas aren't cheap. How do you get a truck like that?
2 women. I couldn't tell the age because I'm in a hurry going to this orientation, so I don't be late.
What direction did they go?
They went up towards the middle of downtown.
Okay, and what path are you on?
Right now, hold on a second. I'm coming to the intersection of. Give me a second here. It says Water and Warder Street.
Water and Warder. Is that the area
Yes,
you
that's
saw
right.
them?
Yes. It was about 2 minutes back behind me. I was trying to get my phone out and trying to make it to this orientation on time. I'm time crunching here. And I saw that. I'm like, yeah, this has got to be reported.
So how many geese did they have?
They each had
gaggle?
1. Now, the Toyota Tacoma did look like a newer model.
Is that for calling?
All right, so that's a 911 call. Here's a citizen.
Is it? Is it? Was it? Right? I doubt it. Actually, I don't think Tatum would play that if it won. I've seen this guy a million times. I don't need to see this guy again. All right, but I do want to play this real quick because I think that this right here is getting mixed in, and I don't think that this lady is part of it. I don't know yet. I know. I was playing along. T-Rex Trucking and More, if you didn't know, is an Ohio man. He is an Ohio-born native. He bleeds Ohio. All right, literally. He says, my friend in Springfield said someone, aka the government, has been giving these folks money, but they're supposed to use for down payments on houses. Oh, wow. Wow. That's so nice of them to give them money for a freaking house. Why don't they give me money for a freaking house? Huh? Well, I know now, T-Rex, I know you don't want money for a house because you're not paying property tax. And I get it. Right? He never will, folks. He never will. But I'm okay with it. As long as I know T-Rex is out there not paying it, I'll pay it. They need to give me money for a house. Come on, give me some money for a house. Come on. Yeah, but they're going to give it away to people that are not here to acclimate to our culture. Isn't that great? No, yeah, this lady I think has a psychological problem. Obviously, maybe a drug addiction. And I think we're going to find out as time goes on that she's not Haitian, if we haven't already. I'm pretty sure she's not. And now I don't think that we should be mixing this in. If there's no evidence that she's Haitian. And the way that they found her and what she was doing does not match the MO of what we're talking about. So I don't want to go through this, but I just want to point that out. And it's a very disgusting case. It's a very disgusting case. But this woman was obviously very mentally ill, had lost her mind, and in a residential neighborhood that looks a lot nicer than any place that I've seen these other people at so far in these videos. This happened, right? So you can look into that story if you want to. I'm not going to go any further with it because I don't think it applies. Let's listen to this lady.
To be clear, this is not about race. This is about people being given the privilege of coming here from another country and having no respect for our people, our land, or our life's work. People living their life here the way they did in Haiti. Angry, stealing, looting, living in filth.
Now let's talk about fracking.
Harris, in your last run for president, you said you wanted to ban fracking. Now you don't. You wanted mandatory government buyback programs for assault weapons. Now your campaign says you don't. You supported.
Hold on. That was it. Okay. But I got more. So hang on. I got more. All right. And let's see. What else have we got here? I don't really care about the fracking stuff. We all know about that. Trump hammered it home. And that's the end of Tatum. Hold on, let me bring him back up real quick. Okay, it's already down. Let me and that's it for Tatum. Tatum's report right there. We just use it as an outline. Brandon Tatum blazing the trail of good media content out there in the world, man. I think this guy is pretty damn phenomenal. So there you go. Thank you, Brandon Tatum, for letting me take part and letting me use your content to show my crowd what's up. All right, so let me go here. All right, I gotta do this carefully. That's done. Okay, I gotta do this carefully. Now, this guy came out, and I remember his name, Tyler Oliveria. Okay, and I didn't like his take on Colorado. I think he kind of dialed that one in, but evidently this one was good, so I didn't actually look at it. But then Benny did a montage of it. It's about 30 minutes long. I don't think I need to show you 30 minutes of it, but I want to show you a little bit of it. There's one guy in here that is clearly racist as hell, and rarely do we come across this, but he's just fed up. It's this guy right here. I'm not going to play anything he says, but he uses some. He doesn't make any of us look good. Let's put it that way, and he needs to kind of take a deep breath and realize it has nothing to do with the things he's talking about. But yeah, it's a problem. It's fed up, but calling people names isn't going to help you.
They're getting thousands of dollars in government.
Now, these are T-Rex's folks right here. You know, these are people in Springfield, Ohio. And T-Rex is from a different part of Ohio, and so is Heidi. Heidi, yeah, right there. Heidi, have you ever considered going and checking this out and shooting a video or something? If you did, let me know. It'd be awesome. You know, it's always good to have people getting involved, and you know, the little things like this can help. And I'm going to show you why. And just right after this, I'm going to show you this gentleman in Springfield, Ohio, who just blew his channel up basically by doing a report on this. So it's pretty incredible.
Assistance, even the cash assistance cards, they're calling them the magic money cards because they never run out.
Managers are nothing but a headache. All they're doing is raising our rent and our taxes and wrecking vehicles.
Everybody wants to make this into a race issue. It's not a race issue. It's culture, it's accountability, and it's respect.
Since June, they took me off. I'm a vet. They took me off of the disability.
You're a veteran, and you're competing with some of the resources they're getting. It just came in here.
Yeah.
I need some solutions. I'm losing my mind.
This is
Come to my channel. I'll help you.
Springfield, Ohio. What was once a small town in Ohio, home to roughly 60,000 working-class Americans, until 20,000 plus Haitian immigrants flooded into town with rumors of them eating the neighbors' cats and local geese.
What did you do? Why'd you kill the cat?
Like, I mean, again, they're still using this lady. Here, is this accurate? I really want to know now. I really want to know. Because they keep using this lady. I'm not going to go through this part.
Did you eat that cat?
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets.
And causing car accidents left and right. and driving locals out of their homes by paying above-market rental prices with welfare subsidized by the American taxpayer. Are these Haitians eating cats? How did they travel 2,000 plus miles from Haiti all the way to Ohio? And do the locals and their new Haitian neighbors get along? I pulled up to Springfield myself to see if this was real or overblown fake news.
A lot of this is alleged because I truly don't know what's going on, and neither does Twitter. Twitter is relying off of a
He did the same thing and for the apartment complex out in Colorado, but he went during the day and he like literally like he literally I think he kind of dialed it in. Like, I mean, obviously if a lot of people are saying that's real, and he kind of seemed like he was trying to prove that it wasn't. So it kind of felt like his video was biased on that. Like he was, I mean, instead of just going straight up. Now he presents it like, okay, I'm just getting reports from everybody around here. But everybody said it's at night when the problems happen, right? It's at night under the cover of darkness when everybody. And he's doing it during the daytime. So I think he ran into a lot of cover, a lot of fear, a lot of scared people that didn't want to talk about it because he was right there, and like, oh, if we talk about it, they're gonna come for us tonight. So I think that I don't think he did a solid job on that one. Let's see how he does on this
few
one.
images and a few Reddit threads, and there are rumors that Haitians are taking neighbors' cats and eating them.
Are you from Haiti by chance? Does everyone get along here in Springfield?
Yes.
Good?
That's what I'm talking about. Like he kind of like just grabs stuff. I don't know if he's cherry picking or not.
Worthless.
Okay, I'm not gonna play this guy. All right, cool. I'm done with that. I just wanted to kind of play the upfront part of it. All right, so the next part is this guy. All right. Let's see. Oh, I wanted to play the Tulsi one. Okay, I'll go back to that. All right, this guy right here. This dude, you know when you hear him, you know when you see him, like he's a straight up guy, right? I know that's what I'm talking about, Heidi. He's in Springfield, Ohio, right? His name is Empty Pockets Garage James, right? Oh my God, dude. 1 million views 2 days ago. Okay. 16,000 comments, 78,000 likes. Okay. When I first saw this video 2 days ago when it came out, he had 2,000 subscribers. He has now blown past my channel at a rapid speed. And you know what his channel is all about? Fixing cars. Literally fixing cars. He's now monetized. I mean, it's like, I don't know, maybe he might not have been even monetized before he started this video. 1 million views. See that? I was telling Scott Free Freedom about this last night. I was on the show late night, and we were just hanging out because he's back. He's broadcasting again. He's streaming again, and so I went and hung out with him. You know, Scott Free Freedom, my friend from Canada. And I was telling him, telling him about Cash Jordan, and I was telling him about this guy. Like, if you get out there and just kind of, you want to report on some of the things that are going on in Canada in your city, and you put together, like Cash did, you could have the success that this guy kind of had with one video that kind of like just pops, right? Like, it's like, I could see Scott Free Freedom doing like a Cash Jordan style video series. He says, yeah, man, I want to get out there and do it. So we have to keep an eye on what Scott's up to. He'll stop by, hopefully, and say hi at some point. In the coming days. But anyways, this guy right here, listen to how like genuine he is.
Hey everybody, this is James Empty Pockets Garage. I want to make a quick video to address something that's looks like it's made national and international news about the Haitian migrants that has been thrust upon us here in Springfield, Ohio, because that is where I live. And I just wanted to address the issue a little bit because I've seen a lot of stuff on national news and a lot of YouTube content creators weighing in on this situation. And I've even seen where they've, because for whatever reason, some news outlets are showing videos that are really not from here or have anything to do with the Haitian migrants here.
Okay, thanks, Heidi.
So, and it kind of irritates me that because this is a small town, so there's not like a bunch of videos that people like stop with their phones and start recording stuff when they see it. It's just not that kind of a place. So there isn't a whole lot of video evidence of this stuff happening, and the fact that some news outlets are using videos that have nothing to do with this town And then everybody's saying, well, this is a nothing burger, it's fake news. Well, I am a resident of Springfield, Ohio, and it is not fake news. There is an issue with them because we have in our local park, they literally have ducks down there that the park takes care of, and it's where they live. And they are being killed and eaten. And as far as people's personal pets, I've heard stories, but I can't answer to that personally because I don't know. But I can tell you, because this is a car channel, I do car content, I can approach this story from the car issue. And when I say that, I mean their driving issues. I've witnessed this. They literally, and they have to have a translator wherever they go. They literally have been in the DMV where, like, I go and get my license plate renewed, and it's also where you get your license, obviously. And they literally have a translator, and they show up with a piece of paperwork that grants them driving privileges with no proof that they can actually drive. Just
way to go, Ohio. I mean, come on, dude. They our kids and us, like, everybody has to take a driving test, but people come in from another country with no proof that they can drive, and they just hand them a driver's license. What are they doing driving it in the first place? They shouldn't be able to drive in the first place. Or, I mean, okay, so I guess the way it works is you can go to other countries and drive if you have a driver's license, okay? Which is weird. So I guess driver's licenses are attainable. It should be a temporary, okay, and they should have to pass a driving test. I don't get how they are allowed to jump over all of us to get a driver's license without having to meet the same requirements. I mean, they should have to meet more requirements to drive in our country, like being able to read the street signs, right? If they cannot read, they cannot drive, right? Or they would have to have go through a driving class that would last several weeks to make sure that they understood what the signs meant and they could demonstrate that to an instructor. What is going on, dude? How did this happen? Where anybody from another country can just jump across the line and well, who's making money off that? Crown, what's up, Crown? How you doing? Who's making money off of it? Who makes money off these people getting driver's licenses? They don't have insurance. I mean, here in my state, if your insurance lapses, you run the risk of having your license suspended. And if you don't get it, another insurance company quick, they will suspend your license and they won't tell you about it. And guess what happens after that? If you're driving around, right, even after you've gotten new insurance, all right, and you don't clear that up, that suspension up, and you get pulled over, you'll go to jail. Like, there's no talking, there's no getting out of it. They will lock you up and they will make you spend the night in jail, or at least many, many, many hours in jail waiting to get bonded. All right. And you will have to come back for court to deal with something you've already cleared up. Right. That's how it works here. So what in the hell? What in the hell is going on in Ohio? T-Rex, I'm looking at you. Hey, you got it. Hey, did you know that they let people immigrate to the U.S. with the promise of obtaining a CDL, having now driving experience? What does that mean? CDL having now driving experience, having no driving experience. Okay. Yeah, I mean, what's going on in Ohio, dude? You need to get the truckers together and stop this immediately. We'll be waiting.
Just that they're of age. It gives them driving privileges for 45 days, and then in 45 days they can go back and renew it. And they never
45-day temporary license, and you just go back and get another one. Okay.
Have to show proof of how competent of a driver they are. We can't do that. And the accidents that are happening here in this town are crazy stories. And like I said, I've witnessed some of this.
Yep.
So I'm approaching this from the car aspect. They can't drive. I don't know how they are even able to do this legally in this country, but
Thomas, I'm talking about for the immigrants just getting, I mean, not immigrants, the people here that aren't citizens getting driver's licenses handed out to them like candy. I'm not talking about the whole like insurance thing. Yeah. But you know what? I mean, there is a problem with uninsured drivers. They cause damage they can't pay for, and then they don't have money for you to sue them. So there is that too.
Hit trees, fire hydrants, people. I mean, there's been
Oh, they're making out.
fatalities
Yeah, they're
from
getting
them
paid off.
not
Yeah,
really knowing how
I
to
guess.
drive.
I mean,
And
but still, what's the point? I still don't get the point of letting this happen. I don't care if someone getting paid up the ladder for something. What are they getting paid up to cause chaos? I don't get it. What I want to know is why there's so much going on in Ohio specifically, because that's where T-Rex lives. From the Palestine, Ohio derailment to this, someone mentioned that the other night. Coda did on the Scott stream. Derailment to this as the most recent, or the focus, or destroying on the state. I don't know what's going on, T-Rex. We want answers. Well, we need answers from T-Rex. He doesn't really have cars. They are very, very poor country. Oh, Haiti doesn't really have cars. No, they don't. I think someone did a stat on it. It's like, 3% or something. I know. I'm talking about how it's like, yeah. Okay. We got that. I got you. 10-4, good buddy. The point is to ruin the country. Well, yeah, that's always a point, isn't it? See, Ohio is considered the middle of the U.S. They're a little north to be the middle, but I got you.
And as far as some of the stories where I've seen and even somebody called this old lady a Karen,
North Central, yeah.
because she
North
was
Central.
complaining about
We'll go with that, Ellie.
the
North
rudeness
Central.
of them, just her trying to go to the grocery store. Well, it is a fact. They are some rude individuals. And I mean rude. I actually had some live across the street from me for a
That makes
while.
sense,
A
T-Rex.
two-bedroom house.
That makes sense.
There must have been a dozen of them living there. And they get transported around, some Haitians some of the ones that I've actually been in conversation with, the ones that are driving can comprehend the English language a little bit. But the ones that's driving the van that goes around and picks them up, they have their own little network of getting people around that don't have a
Wait
car.
for it.
transporting
Wait for
them all
it.
over. And they literally pull up and they lay on their horn. And I don't mean for like beep, beep. I mean, sometimes 5 minutes straight. To where I've literally had to go out and go up to the dude and tell him to shut the motherfucking van off, get your ass out of the van, go up to the goddamn door and fucking knock on it. Nobody wants to hear this horn blow over and over and over again. And I thought there was going to be a fight right then and there until he realized that I'm an open carry person. So it kind of de-escalated the conversation real quick. And from that point,
But they want to ban the guns, right? Mm-hmm.
he did, going forward, get out of his van and go up and knock on their door.
Yep.
So I'm saying
Problem solved. Problem solved.
they are rude
That's why the guy got so many subs, man, right there.
to the point to where it's like they test people to see what they can get away with. And this is a small town. 20,000 people and this is a poor county. This is not a high-end wealthy county. And for them to come in and get preference, and I mean preference, and I'll give you one example and then I'm gonna get off here. I have a brother who is
Listen to this
disabled,
story.
and he's in a low-income apartment complex, and they were building new homes, they're attached to each other. They're not like apartments. They're all single floor because he can't get up and down the stairs, so he has to have a single floor deal with a scooter, a little mobile scooter and stuff. But anyways, he had been on this waiting list for this new housing development for low-income and disabled people, and he checked periodically and see where he's at on the list, because I'll tell you, you've got so many people ahead of you, and he pretty much knew where he was on the list, and he was getting close. This last time he called and checked on it, they gave him a number, and he's like, well, that's not where I was before. It looks like I went backwards on the list. Why? Well, I guess the Haitians, for whatever reason, for whatever political umbrella they are here under,
Here you go, Thomas.
got pushed to the front of the line. So now my brother has to wait even longer because of the Haitians, and they're not disabled. They're getting special preference for housing that really should be, I hate to sound bad, but it should be for a U.S. citizen first. And then, like, they can go and move into the apartment complex
Brother, that's not a bad thing to say at all. Say it loud.
that my brother's trying to get out of, because there's a bunch of young people there, single mothers, a lot of children. He gets nervous around all that, so he wants to be in a safer environment for him.
Not quite.
And this place was going to be it. Well, right now it's not looking like it's going to be it in anytime in the near future.
Why would he want to live there now anyway?
It kind of bothers me. I'm not going to say a little bit. I'm going to say a lot.
Let him move in.
But So it's not fake news.
No, not
There
my brother.
are cases of what they are saying on the news is to be true. There's probably not a lot of video evidence. There is some. And I can only speak to what I have witnessed personally. I cannot speak to all of it. But it is bad enough that it concerns a lot of people in this town. And I'm one of them. Because I'm up in age and I'm disabled myself. So I worry that they are, like I said, they are rude people. And I could see them growing in numbers like in an apartment complex and kind of try to rule the area, and nobody will do anything about it. It's, like if I went to a foreign country and I decided I wanted to live there, I would be expected to know the laws and the rules of engagement with everything. And if I get in trouble there for doing something that is against the law there, but not where I'm from, and not expect to get in trouble, that's just asinine. So, but right now there's no accountability in our local government. These people suck ass. They always have. I mean, they are just, how politicians are. It's just crazy. And I didn't mean for this to be this long, but I just wanted to say, I am a Springfield, Ohio resident. These stories, for the most part, I can verify personally, are true. This is not fake news.
Okay. Real quick, now you got to see this because and I'm have to jump off the playlist here for a second. You got to see this because James here, right? Empty Pockets James, which is a great name. Empty Pockets Garage, right? We got to go over to this channel, and I want to show you what he did as a follow up, just to inspire some people out there or whatever. But this is what his channel looks like. All right, this is what his channel looks like. Pull it up. All right. And you see, he doesn't do too bad, right? He's in the hundreds. He's in the hundreds. He's doing all right. Let's take a look at some of the other stuff on here. His video list. Let's see how long has he been making videos? For a while, right? He's been doing this for a while, man. And 200, 67, 67, 58. He's making. There's one where he did a 3-minute video that got 8,000. That's really good for, I don't make videos anymore. I should, but I don't. I just do streams. But here you go, right? This is him. One for the MAGA Republicans. All right, there you go. Is he singing this? No, he just put a video out. Looks like it's a good video. I might check that out later. Anyways, so this is the one that blew up. 1 million views, right? So he put up a follow-up one day later, almost 100,000 views. Should have had more. Should be more. But
I got such a huge response, which was so unexpected on my video that I did yesterday.
He's gonna go to the pond and show you where show you the pond where they're taking the ducks from. So that's why I wanted to play this one.
And I did not have an opinion either way on supposedly the ducks being killed or people's pets being taken and eaten. So I thought I'd come down to the infamous Snyder Park, where these animals reside. They don't migrate here. They are pets here, and they are a protected animal. They're so domesticated now that they're not afraid of humans, so they'll walk right up to you and want to get fed. And I haven't been down here in a while, but last time I was here, there could have been close to 100 ducks and probably dozens of geese. And I'm going to turn the camera around and show you what's left. So they're not disappearing in the way that people are claiming they are. Where'd they go? Anyways, I'm going to turn the camera around. We'll take a look.
Here you go, guys. You saw it here first. That's all the ducks that are left.
As you can see, it's just a handful of small ducks over there. And there's an adult. But where are the rest? I mean, there was dozens down here. Where do y'all go? They live here. So, I'm not claiming either way what's happening to them, but
they better get the hell in the water. That's all I know.
So, saying that,
there you go.
Here we go.
All right, so I just want to show you that. Good luck with your channel, James. Got to move on for time's sake. Empty Pockets Garage, James. You can check him out. Yeah, he's blowing up right now. He's getting He's getting views like he's never seen, like you wouldn't believe. He's never seen before. So there you have it. Let me go ahead and take that down. Let's see. Do I have anything left? Oh yeah, I did have one more. This is the same guy I was showing earlier, but I found a better version and like some stuff that was deeper in the video. So I'm gonna go ahead and it's just a clip. So I wanted to play this though. Listen to this guy. I like the dude he's interviewing. He's got this is probably like he's got the Grateful Dead shirt on, but listen to the way he talks. Listen to him.
Had over 100 cats in it with the Haitians. They said they was eating them.
Actually?
Yeah.
Not fake news.
Not fake news.
So a van was collecting cats and eating them.
I watched it happen, yeah. Watched them get pulled over with the cats and admit to the police that they was eating them.
You're not joshing with me.
No, I'm almost 50 years old, buddy. No.
You don't mess around.
No.
So there you have it. They fact-checked him on that because of some letters that they got somewhere from a city manager saying, well, we don't believe that's true. Do you think the city manager is going to go out and say, well, that's what's happening? Here's who is saying it. The Attorney General of the state of Ohio. This came out today. Dave Yost is the Attorney General for the state of Ohio, and he accused the media of ignoring evidence surrounding those claims in Springfield that they're having their pets abducted and eaten. The Attorney General of Ohio says it's real.
Had over 100 cats in it with the Haitians. They said they was
okay. That's on a loop because it's on X. So there you go. Real quick hit there, and let's pull that down. All right. One that I didn't hit when I should have. Let me stop this. Was Tulsi. So I'm gonna bring Tulsi back up, and then we're gonna get. Oh yeah, hold on. No, I do have one more. Hold on. Which I don't think I'm gonna play. I'll skip that one because it's like 22 minutes. We're good on this. You guys get the point. I'm gonna stay on top of it. More evidence will come out about this. So when I do have more definitive proof of the attack, God dang YouTube. Sorry, this playlist thing. I was like, I'm trying to organize it, and like it decides, oh yeah, you want to scroll at the bottom, do you? I'm like, no, I don't. It's one. There you go. Just get away from where we're going next. All right, we did it. Okay. But I'll stay on top of it as I get more evidence, and it will come out. It will come out as to the impact to actual pets, like, and what that's like. You saw the one dude saying, "Hey, yeah, they there is there's evidence that they are collecting pets in a van, cats. And they got to be pretty damn fast to catch a cat. So, or they got nets or something. They have to be pretty organized to get it done. So they're just coming by, swooping up cats and then taking them. There's going to be bloodshed there. I mean, it's going to happen because people are, they'll freak out over their pets, man. They'll be like, ain't nobody gonna miss them anyways. I mean, not the pets, that the people that are doing it. So, and ain't nobody there in Springfield gonna say anything about it. I'll tell you what, that's the way it turns. Like it turns out, well, I didn't see nothing. Communities will come together when there's a threat like this, and they will come together to protect the innocent when it's right in front of their face and undeniable. People can deny the attack on the innocents now. They can stay in denial about it. But, when they're literally everybody's pets are disappearing, everybody's beloved pets are disappearing, you're going to see outrage like you've never seen before. And they'll be this is where mobs form, that violent mobs who do things and they don't talk about it. So let's hope that they get this under control. I think what they need to do is get those people out of the community as fast as possible. Send them to New York City. They got plenty of places for them there. Put them in New York City. What are you doing putting them in a rural Ohio? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. It has to be intentional. If I was the governor of Ohio, I would be the SWAT teams and the police and buses would be in Springfield right now collecting these people. And they'd be heading their way to a sanctuary city. They can live in peace amongst other people who are just like them. So there you have it. All right, so let's check this out. We're going to move to this has to do with, again, back to the fact check on abortion, but also on in vitro fertilization And this comes from Tulsi Gabbard. So here we go.
Tulsi Gabbard, former Congresswoman and Trump campaign advisor. She is joining us here in the spin room. And Tulsi, it's good to see you. Thank you. You have a unique perspective here because not only have you debated against Kamala Harris, but you were once a Democrat. Now you support former President Trump and you helped him with some of his debate prep. How do you think the evening went? And did you see some of the things that you discussed before the debate play out in real time tonight?
You know, President Trump kept this debate very focused on the issues that matter most to the American people. I think to me, when you look at this debate, that was the biggest contrast, is that President Trump really brought voice to the American people who are concerned about crime on their streets, who are concerned about illegal immigrants, millions of illegal immigrants crossing the border, and how this doesn't just affect the border communities. This is affecting, in a very negative way, communities all across the country. He kept coming back to these issues. He kept coming back to the economy and how more and more Americans are continuing to struggle to afford basic necessities, groceries, gas, supplies, things that they are reminded of every single day, that their dollar is going shorter and shorter. It doesn't go as far as it used to be. These are the issues that the American people are most concerned about. And quite frankly, that Kamala Harris not only didn't really speak to or address, but she also didn't recognize and admit the fact that people are in this position today given the Biden-Harris administration's policies, and that they have been the ones in the White House these past 4 years, not Donald Trump.
So you talked about immigration and the economy. Those are two issues that voters have trusted, at least in the polling shows they trust Trump a bit more. But one area where he's been vulnerable has been abortion. And we heard from Nikki Haley earlier. She suggested that Donald Trump and J.D. Vance need to change the way they speak about women. Tonight, there were some heated exchanges over the issue of abortion. Trump himself has struggled to sort of define where he stands right now. How do you think he handled that part of the debate?
I think he clarified and told the truth about a lot of things that Kamala Harris accused him of that were outright lies. She was trying to tell the American people that he supports a federal abortion ban. He does not. She tried to tell the American people that he's trying to ban IVF, something that's personal to me because it's something that my husband and I, for years, tried to start our own family through the use of IVF. It didn't work out for us, works out for a lot of families. President Trump was quick on the draw when that Alabama court ruled, and he immediately said, no, we have to protect IVF, and the Alabama state legislature took action. She continued to say things, trying to say he's trying to ban birth control. That is also 100% false. So President Trump, I think, did a good job in clarifying the truth after Kamala Harris continued to lob lie after lie at him, saying things that he stood for that frankly just are not true.
Well, the former president made some false claims too. He said that, there were states that wanted to kill babies after they were born. We fact-checked that a bunch of times, even prior to the debate. There is not a single state in this country that would allow that sort of thing. But I want to ask you about something else. He also made a pretty serious allegation saying that he took a bullet to the head because of the way Democrats, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, have been talking about him, saying that he's a threat to democracy. You're a former Democrat. Do you think that Democrats are to blame, at least in part, for that assassination attempt? And remember, the FBI says they don't know what the motive was in that attack.
There is no doubt in my mind that those who use...
You spun up. He spun up. They're all spun up. I don't care what it is or what topic it is. They're spun up by information. It's information-based mind control.
Such insightful rhetoric as calling Donald Trump the same as our modern day Hitler, not once, not twice, but year after year after year after year. It doesn't take it shouldn't take an FBI investigator to add 1 + 1 = 2. People always say, well, what would you have done if you were in a position where you could have stopped Hitler back during World War II? To think that any person watching them call Donald Trump today's modern day Hitler wouldn't take it upon themselves to say, hey, maybe I should be that hero to go and take out this man who these people I see on television, who these powerful people in Washington are saying is our modern day Hitler, then you're not actually living in the real world.
Back to episode 1 of Unveiling Reality. I believe it was episode 1. It was one of the first ones. The way that I introduce people to the things that I'm talking about in terms of the veils of perception and how this world is set up and how that we're born into this establishment narrative and how those of us who escape are on the outside of it, right? And the perils of being on the outside of the establishment narrative, the things we have to look out for, right? The grifts, the conspiracy grifts, the things that are supposed to pull us down into being discredited and unreliable and unattractive to the people who are still trapped in the cage, right? The thing that I start with, the very first thing I start with is called the Human Brain OS, right? And the example that I give to introduce people to this topic, and the reason I start here is because you have to understand the root cause of mind control and how it works, right? So I introduce them to the configuration of their own brain and how our own brain works in a sense of how it processes information. And I start with this example of the study done about people who were born deaf, never heard a word in their life, never heard a sound in their life. And then we ask the question, do they have an inner voice? And I ask this question, and I give the crowd time to answer. I'm going to speed through it. I'm going to give you the answer. The answer is that yes, they do, but that inner voice is in images. It's not auditory. It's visual. What this teaches us is that at the base level of our mind, images are the root OS, right? It's like the DOS. It's the background running, operation system, which is much more sophisticated now. I'm going old school there, but just to make it simple, right? It's the programming underneath it all. It's images, right? Because language is created, right? It's not a given thing, but images, what we take in, are there. They're part of the third dimension, right? They're part of what we see. These angles, these surfaces, everything, the depth that we see. This is the third dimension. So I also did an episode on the dimensions as well, because you need to understand the third dimension to understand a lot of other things in the world, right? How things work. But so the images, these block images can become archetypes, right? So we use archetypes as fast references. Imagine it like an archetype is something that we can reference really quickly, right? So I give the example about archetypes by saying, and I'm going to say a word, and the first image that pops into your head, just let me know, right? And I say the word war. And I said, you probably got the image of army men, people in the trenches, people with helmets on, tanks, warfare of that kind of nature, right? And I say that is the image, that's the archetype at the base of your human brain OS for that word. Now, words are made up of letters, and letters are symbols, right? So letters are basically images that we attribute meaning to, right? So as you learn how to speak and develop the language center, which is an advanced form of it's like the AI is kind of awake, right? It's kind of like the Python scripting or whatever in your mind, right? This is the words, right? It helps organize the images and helps us communicate to each other. We can't communicate in images, right? So it helps the interpersonal communication to have a language, right? Of course, we could sign to each other, and that's a way of symbolically speaking, but we're still kind of in action. We're still kind of in motion. I wouldn't go that deep on it, but I would say, look, you have this archetype, and this archetype of evil, which almost anybody in the United States or pocket of the world could attribute Hitler to, because of the atrocities that went on during World War II and what he did to a certain group of people in concentration camps. This wide scale cruelty, and it's something that it's easily ingrained and sticks with us as an archetype of evil, right? An archetype of fear, an archetype of of death, right? It's all there. And so this archetype is cemented into most of our operating systems. So when you take the archetype like that and you compare it to somebody else, right? You keep calling them that. You keep putting their image like that. You merge their images together over the time of a repetition, right? Which is conditioning, right? That they begin to associate that person with the deeds of the other person, the archetype. Whatever the archetype is, that person becomes associated with it. And that's how the slander campaign works, right? So this is how they were able to brainwash half the population into believing that Trump was Hitler, because they know this technique. They know how the human brain OS works. That's what I do on Unveiling Reality. That's back a year or two, I think, when I did that program. But that's where I start when I start introducing how they use psychology and information-based mind control to manipulate and manufacture the consent of people that are unwittingly and unknowingly. And that's why I have a channel, because I'm trying to pull people away from that. I'm trying to teach them how it works so they have the mental antivirus to resist it. All right. So they're making a big deal out of it here. We're seeing the results of this slander campaign, this manipulation of archetypes, right? And in fact, I recently did another episode about archetypes too, relating to this. And I probably told the same story then too. So anyways, I'm just a refresher real quick. And oh, look, Mimsy, thank you. Thank you for gifting the membership. Who got that membership? Wanderer Cirrus. Thank you. Wanderer. Hope you're there. If you are there, please thank Mimsy for the gifted membership. And of course, since it's a gifted membership, I should play this for Mimsy. Here we go, Mimsy.
It's cold. A big warm knob. It has to do. I can't imagine a more beautiful thing. It's cold. I can tell you all about it. I mean, look at this thing. When I try to get out of anything.
right. Yes. Awesome. Thank you, Mims. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's get back to this. I just wanted you guys to have that information. And I hope you'll think about it. If you've never heard that before, it's the first time you heard me say it, really, really think about it and just do your own experiments with it. You'll tend to see it everywhere now. Like that's how I do. That's what I do. I unveil reality. Here we go.
Or consequences to using that dangerous, insightful rhetoric. And it would not surprise me to know that it would lead to that very dangerous and tragic situation.
Former Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, thank you for your time.
Nice to talk to you.
I could have just waited 1 second and done that. All right. So, no, she nailed it. She nailed it. She said it in a very eloquent way. We're seeing the results of that type of subversion, right? That's what it is. It's a subversion of the truth. It's evil. It's pure evil. Okay. Where are we at here? Do I have any? Hold on. We're gonna bring back an old villain here in a second. An old villain. Okay, so wrapping up the debate portion of the evening, and we're going to be moving into the rig game, the rigging of the election that is trying to do now. Like we knew what they did last time. Now what they're trying to do this time. We know it has to be a slightly different strategy, and we have to keep our eyes on the old way that they do things, right? But this is a great piece. This is a great piece. And so we're going to go into that, and we're going to talk about that and see which one is okay, got that. Yeah, okay. So these are all lined up for us to move into the next segment here. And okay, we're done with Ohio. And do I have anything more in this folder? Nope. That's where we're at. So I hope you guys have enjoyed that the presidential debate aftermath and fact-checking session we just did there. I hope you learned a lot. I hope you saw a lot of things you hadn't seen before. So I really strive to try to bring you something new. I know there was a lot of that stuff already out there. You probably heard some of it already. But I hope it gave you some new information, and I hope you found it helpful and interesting. Okay, so right now we're going to talk about, we have this thing, we're going to call it Rig Watch, right? And it's a terrible name because I'm going to have a hard time saying it. But Rig Watch, right? We have to keep our eyes on this election. We have to make sure that they can't do what they did to us in 2020 ever again, right? And if we can get through this election, then we're going to get, hopefully get President Trump to secure our elections by having same-day voting, same-day in-person voting, and paper ballots. So we need to go back to the system that works around the world and stop this rigged game system that the establishment has put in place to control the greatest country on earth, the biggest superpower on earth. And this will be another big step forward in securing our future right here. So, but first we have to get through this election, and to do that, we have to stay vigilant. And to do that, we're going to start out by, okay, wait, well, hold on. No, we're going to do that next, right? I got one more thing about the debates. It's a summary of it. All right. And this is so interesting that I had to play it, but that's what's coming up next. I hope I got you nice and excited for it. All right, here we go. This comes from Insurrection Barbie on X. I'm speeding this up a little bit, so it won't be actually 4 minutes, but this man's brilliant. He went out and he asked after the debate, and he fed the transcripts of the debate to ChatGPT, all the transcript. This is a brilliant idea. This guy should make $1 million. And then he asked ChatGPT, what did ChatGPT think about bias in the ABC debate? Now check this out, guys. You're gonna love it.
Perceived bias that the moderators had against Trump. I decided to take the transcript of the entire debate and put it into ChatGPT and see whether ChatGPT detected any bias. And the analysis that I got was pretty shocking. So take a look. Now, this is going to be a little long, so bear with me.
In the transcript you provided, there are some points.
Hold on. It's a little low, so I'm going to slow it down slightly. It's coming. I'm not hearing it that well. I've got it cranked on my end, so you may want to just turn your volume up for this part. Back it up for a second and give you guys a chance to do that. Here we go.
Now, this is going to be a little long, so bear with me.
In the transcript you provided, there are some points where bias could potentially be inferred, though it is important to note that bias detection can be subjective. Here are a few instances that may suggest bias. 1. Tone in questioning. Example. 1. David Muir's question to Donald Trump regarding January 6th. You told your supporters to march to the Capitol. Is there anything you regret about what you did on that day? Analysis. The phrasing of this question frames Trump's actions in a negative light, suggesting direct responsibility for the Capitol attack. While January 6th is an important event to question Trump on, the repeated framing of Trump as the instigator of the attack might suggest a critical tone. The absence of any comparably critical or pointed questions towards Harris might suggest an imbalance. Example 2. David Muir's follow-up after Trump's defense on January 6th. Muir presses Trump on personal responsibility for the attack, while Trump deflects by placing the blame on Nancy Pelosi and the Washington, D.C. mayor. Muir insists, the question is about you as president, not about former Speaker Pelosi. Analysis. Muir continues to steer the conversation toward Trump's actions, while allowing Harris more leeway to respond to broader topics without similar pressure. 2. Fact-checking Trump, but not Harris. Example. During the discussion on Springfield, Ohio, David Muir interjects to clarify Trump's claim about immigrants eating pets. We did reach out to the city manager of Springfield. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused. Analysis. Muir quickly fact-checks Trump's more outlandish claim about Springfield. While fact-checking is part of a moderator's role, there's no evidence in the transcript that the moderators similarly fact-checked any claims made by Harris. If Trump's statements are scrutinized more rigorously than Harris, that might suggest an element of bias. 3. Lack of follow-up questions for Harris. Example. When Harris was asked about her stance on an abortion ban, the moderator asked, would you support any restrictions on a woman's right to an abortion? Harris responded broadly by discussing Roe v. Wade without directly answering whether she supported any specific restrictions. Analysis. The moderators did not press Harris for a clear yes or no answer or a follow-up question, which contrasts with the way they pressed Trump on certain topics, such as January 6th, or his views on Ukraine. 4. Closing statement. Framing. Example. In the closing statements, David Muir sets up Harris by thanking her first and allowing her to outline her vision. Trump follows with a pointed response about what she hasn't accomplished during her time as vice president, which could easily appear more combative. Analysis. While the candidates are responsible for their statements, the structure of allowing Harris to go first and Trump to follow may have given Harris an advantage in presenting herself as the more positive, forward-looking candidate, leaving Trump in the role of defense. Conclusion. While overt bias is not immediately apparent, there are instances where the moderators may have pressed Trump harder on his controversial statements or actions, while allowing Harris more leeway in answering difficult questions. The disparity in the number of follow-ups, tone in questioning, and fact-checking suggests that Trump may have faced a more critical approach. This could create the perception of bias, especially if one candidate is scrutinized more intensely than the other.
So this analysis proves definitively that there was bias against Trump, and all the bias went in favor of Harris. And so all the people claiming that there wasn't any bias are lying to you. This was a 3-on-1 event.
What's up, Jacob?
It's clear to everyone that this was not a fair representation of how journalists are supposed to behave. And because of the blatant bias, the narrative has turned against ABC, and Kamala Harris will not see a bump because of this. That's my prediction.
And he nailed it. He nailed it. How about that, guys? I hope you guys got to hear that. If not, you can find it on X. Here, I'll throw the link out here to that. There you go. So you can watch that later if you need to. All right. So that's that. That's that. I did this one and I did this one. So I'm closing these down as I go. All right, guys. I promised you I'm going to bring back an old villain. This lady should have retired a long time ago. But she's back, of course, because Stacey only knows how to do one thing. Lie and subvert elections. That's all she knows how to do because she's been doing it her whole life. I won't go into the story about my the script that I wrote for that long TV series, that long video series. It was gonna be like a movie kind of thing, but broken into kind of like seasons, you know, like a mini kind of movie thing. But and one of them was about Stacey. So, anyways, about how she was stealing elections her whole life by trying to jam up the votes, but trying to make fake votes. Here we go.
Now we will hear from Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger from Georgia. I think many of you may.
By the way, the title of this is Stacey Abrams' group sued to stop block on non-citizens voting. Georgia's Secretary of State Raffensperger. Here he is.
May know of him already. He is someone who has worked on this issue.
How you doing?
Much longer than anyone else I know. Years ago, when he was a state legislator, put a measure in to make this the law in Georgia, continues to work on it, and has been a huge help to this movement all over the country. Brad.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. The reason why I'm here today is because I've long believed, long before I was Secretary of State, probably somewhere when I was around 10 years old, but somewhere along the line, I just realized how precious it was to be an American citizen. And as I looked at some of our state laws, I realized that we need in Georgia a constitutional amendment to make sure only American citizens vote in our elections. But I believe it doesn't just start at the top of the ticket. I think it starts at every single office holder, from the school board to county commission, city council, state house, state senate. I believe no matter where you're elected in,
Yeah, he did a bad
in Georgia
job.
or anywhere in the rest of the country,
But it sounds like he's doing a good job here. But yeah, he did a bad job in 2020. Here we go. Look at that
it
face.
should require that you are an American citizen. I believe that America is the greatest country in the world. And I believe that we are a nation for good. I love America, and I love American citizenship. I love what we stand for. I'm proud of our founders and their wisdom. I think about Washington,
Why is he making this about himself? It's kind of weird.
Jefferson, Madison. I think we honor them when we make sure that only American citizens can vote. I think also about anyone that has ever served in the military, that actually wore the uniform and then took it out in battle. And then some who never came home, who lost their life, dying, fighting for our freedom. I think that commitment that they had for our nation, we honor that when we do two things: when we vote in our elections and when we make sure only American citizens are voting in those elections. I think that great nation should never devalue two things:
Cool
our
gamer,
currency
what's up?
and American citizenship.
Welcome.
I believe that we are the gold standard. I don't think there's any other country in the world that allows non-citizens to vote. But frankly, I don't care what the rest of the world does. America is the gold standard. We set the model, we lead, and only American citizens should be voting in our elections. And if you just think about this, I heard a great analogy, but here's another one, because I think most common sense Americans can kind of help noodle through this idea. Because a lot of times people will be naysayers about this non-citizen, voting. But I think that voting is more important than being on a jury pool. And I think being on a jury pool is very important. You have to be an American citizen to be on a jury anywhere in America. Doesn't it not make sense that a more precious right, the right to vote, should require American citizens only to be able to exercise that right to vote?
All right, get to the point.
So I believe that no matter where you're elected, from president, school board, county commissioner, that we should require only Americans to vote in our
Right?
elections. Then you think about right now with the open border policy that we've had in place for several years now, voters are concerned about non-citizen voting. Well, I can give you great news about in Georgia. Because we partner with our Department of Driver Services, we have robust citizenship verification. And so before people go on the voter rolls, Department of Driver Services, who actually registers about 99% of new voters or when they renew their driver's license, is going to do a robust citizenship verification. And yet we've been sued already in Georgia by two groups. Stacey Abrams' group, Fair Fight. Fair Fight Action sued us in federal court. We met them.
Fair fight. They always invert reality. The evil always inverts reality. And so it's really an unfair fight she wants. That's what she wants.
We beat them in a court of law.
Yes.
Then we were sued by the Georgia Coalition for the People's Agenda. So same thing. And they wanted to stop us from doing citizenship verification. We met them in a court of law and we did prevail. We think that sets great legal precedent for anyone in the country that wants to do citizenship verification the way Georgia does. We think it makes sure that only American citizens are on the voter rolls. So only American citizens are voting in our elections.
I gotta hope so.
So we think that's really important. And that's why I'm here today, because I think it's very important that only American citizens ever vote in our elections here in America.
Okay, so Stacey tries and she fails like she always does. But we know that one of their main strategies is to get people that are not supposed to be voting to vote. Right? So that's one of their main things they're doing here. That's one of the main things they're doing here. All right, so that's the first rig we're calling out here tonight. We know that that's happening. That's an update on that. All right, so next, now I call out Jeremy all the time on this channel for when he gets out of his wheelhouse, he does a bad job, right? He gets out of his wheelhouse, he does a bad job. However, on this one, I think he did a good job. So, like I said, I want to highlight people in our scene that we're all together on the same team. When they do a good job, I highlight it, and when they're grifting, I call it out. So, yeah, he'll probably be on later on in the grifting part. I can't remember if he's in there or not, but I think that he is. Like I said, I got some interesting degrifting to do tonight at the end of the show, but this one is an article from and here I'll pop this up on screen just to show you what I'm talking about, and then I'm gonna try to do something a little different here, and just go straight to the article myself. So so here we go. I'll let him introduce it.
Going on right now. Many people see this as the beginning, the setup for shenanigans this fall. I don't know. We're gonna have to take a look at it. There's also some new news out of Maricopa County, which there were many questions about during the last election. in particular around Kerry Lake and the various machines, I will again plead, beg, do whatever it takes to tell you that I believe conservative pundits telling you to vote on election day are wrong. You should vote early and in person.
Good idea. And get rid of Trudeau.
Bank your vote. Get it in there. I don't want to hear about, well, then the Democrats know how many vote. No. Get in there. Get your vote in. Period. You know what they can't do if you go in 2 weeks early during early in-person voting? They can't break the machine coincidentally at 8 o'clock, right? The vote's in. You can verify your vote. You can do all this kind of stuff.
Okay, so I question if he's seen the documentary that we watched together called "Let My People Go." It's out. It's over on the Rumble channel. The full version of that is over there. I highly, in fact, hold on. Let me just double check here. Okay, it's pinned in my featured. It's pinned. This is how important I think it is. It's pinned at the top of my Rumble profile. And by the way, I haven't thrown the links out to the free speech platforms yet tonight. Well, I need to do that here. I'll do that while we're going through this. But actually, I should probably do it right now since I'm talking about it. Let me get in here and just do this. It'll take me 1 second. Hang on. Oh, I didn't put an X in there yet either. All right. Oh, okay, cool. Good. Let me just share this here and here and here. X, by the way, is clearing their some of their bad accounts out right now. So we have dropped down to 490 there. So if you are on X, I really would love it if you'd follow me over there. It would help out a lot. I don't get a lot of push on X for some reason. I don't know why. Hey, Madcore, what's up, my man? What's up? All right, here you go. There's the free speech platforms. And so over there, pinned to the top of my profile is "Let My People Go." I highly recommend everybody watch this before the election, before you go vote. Go watch this. I might disagree with Jeremy here on this, but I think he's still coming from a good place. That, get out there and vote. Don't let anybody use your name to vote. Don't think that it's okay just to not vote. You need to be in the fight, or someone might use your name to actually vote the way you wouldn't want to vote, and then you're tied to that, and that's an awful feeling. But this is his take on it. If machines breaking is a problem in places, I've never experienced it here. It depends on if it's a thing that happens where you were at. Maybe you want to consider voting early. Either way, just make sure you vote, and make sure you vote in a way that your vote will be counted, and then track your vote.
Right. You know what happens when you vote 2 weeks early in person? You don't get sick. Tim Pool's off today. I've slid into his live stream slot. Normally I'm live Monday through Friday at 1 Eastern.
I'll look for you, man.
Where I cover all the news. And if you enjoy that, you want someone who covers the news, please do follow my live stream channel, which is called Quartercast, or follow me on Rumble.
All right.
Both are good. Postal Service warns.
There you go. This is it.
46 states that their voters could be disenfranchised by delayed mail-in ballots. Oh, who is this really for? Who mails in their ballots?
Right. And all this stuff is BS, man. You need to go in and vote in person. Of course, that's not what the bad guys want. They want you to use their rigged game system so they can manipulate it. And there is some truth to the fact that, if you give them the numbers and they decide that they somehow can get away with not stopping the counting and then coming back the next day, we saw that had very bad results in 2020. And that's why I pushed that documentary, "Let My People Go," because it goes into that exact strategy that they use, and it calls it out with empirical, undeniable evidence. Like you haven't seen a documentary like this before. You need to see it. It'll educate you, and make sure you share it to others. You can share my link, or you just go give them the link, the direct link. Either way, I don't care. As long as people see the material, they need to see it so they understand what the game is. The only way to unrig the game is to call out the rigged game, right?
Who is
and
that?
Fix it.
Which group of voters is that, by the way?
That sucks.
Anticipating an avalanche of absentee ballots, the U.S. Postal Service recently sent a detailed letter to 46 states and Washington, D.C., warning that it simply cannot guarantee all ballots cast by mail for the November election will even arrive in time to be counted. adding another layer of uncertainty.
Nice, dude.
Had
Nice.
a high stakes presidential contest.
Nice.
Again,
maybe you could help me out, man. 'Cause I don't get much reach on X for some reason, man. It's just really strange. I think I'm shadow banned on X from back, like way back before Elon took over, and like I haven't been released out of that segment because I took on the Amber Heard crowd. So there you go. I was defending Johnny Depp, of course, because we know Amber Heard is a covert narcissist, and there was an epidemic on display. That would be great, man. I really do need a friend on X. I really do. So man, I hope that works out. I hope that works out.
And look up the day your early in-person voting starts. Go and do it. You can check your vote online. Take the time right now to go and verify that you're registered at the correct address, right? There are many states, there are many stories of people just getting mail-in ballots sent to their house. I feel like this warning is probably for Democrats saying, uh-oh, you're not going to be able to rely on all those mail-in ballots.
Well, yeah, maybe not. But look, the other thing too is, remember I said this is one thing that we could all do ourselves to help secure the election, is keep an eye on your mailbox, and keep your eye on the mailboxes in your neighborhood. And if you see somebody going around, kind of sneaking around your neighborhood, walking around, they could be disguised as, this people coming around asking questions, or people who act like they're just doing lawn surveys or roofing surveys or whatever. Keep an eye on the people in your neighborhood and make sure they're not opening mailboxes. And if they are, take their picture. If you are capable, you may want to confront them and ask them what they're doing. It's a federal offense to go into another person's mailbox. A federal offense. Get their picture. Call the police immediately. Especially, it's probably best to call the police immediately, and then when they show up, present the evidence that you've collected. Having cameras on the outside of your house helps out a lot, because then you could just replay the footage of them walking through. You can set alerts too, like people walking. You can set it on your mailbox, and if someone goes near your mailbox, you'll get alert. There's activity there. There's a person here, right, on the camera, and then you can double check to make sure it's not the postman or whatever, the mail person, whatever you got, man. Okay.
The letters sketch a grid.
Let's see. I got to run, brother. This is the right thing to be doing. I'm winning reality. Keep doing the good work. Thank you, old blue eyes. I really do appreciate it, man. I'll look for you on X, and I hope to see you again real soon. All right. Take care, and keep on winning, brother.
Impossibility for the tens of millions of Americans eligible for mail-in ballots this fall. Even if people follow all their state's election rules, the pace of the Postal Service delivery may disqualify their votes. First of all, there should be no mail-in voting, period. I actually think this hurts the Democrats more than the Republicans.
Thoughts? Do you think this is helping or hurting the Democrats with this announcement here?
I suppose you'd have to let me know in the comments, but I think this actually hurts them more. The Postal Service's warnings of the potential disenfranchisement. When they say disenfranchisement, they're talking about Democrat voters.
Yeah, that's a good take.
Came as the agency undergoes a sweeping organizational and policy overhaul amid dire financial conditions. Well, that's when the government runs things, they don't run.
Right.
The ballot warnings issued at the end of July from Thomas J. Marshall, General Counsel and Executive Vice President of the Postal Service.
Postal Service is a little sketch right now, man. That place needs an overhaul like you wouldn't believe.
And obtained through records requested by the Washington Post were planned before the appointment of Louise DeJoy, a former logistics executive and ally of President Trump. As Postmaster General in early summer, they go beyond the traditional coordination between the Postal Service and election officials, drafted as fears surrounding the COOF lockdowns triggered an unprecedented and sudden shift to mail-in voting.
Mm-hmm.
Who did the mail-in ballots? I actually think this is a win for Trump. Am I wrong? Some people say that this triggers the quote-unquote steal is on.
That would be the open borders.
Just think they're warning Democrats like, hey, you guys have been telling people to do mail-in ballots and early absentee ballots, and we can't guarantee that they'll actually make it. I think that this is,
could be
a warning to Democrats. There's 40 million in the narrow warnings, 186 million in the heightened warning. Some states anticipate 10 times the normal volume in election mail. 6 states and DC received warnings that ballots could be delayed for a narrow set of voters, but the Postal Service gave 40 others, including key battleground states of Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Florida, more serious warnings that their longstanding deadline for requesting, returning, and counting ballots were encourages with mail service, and voters who send ballots in close to those deadlines may become disenfranchised. This is a warning to Democrats, in my opinion. Tell me if I'm wrong. Right?
It could be.
I think they're like, guys.
Considering it's coming from the Washington Post, it could be. It could be. But I mean, there's other outlets out there that are relaying the same warning, including the Daily Caller, which I have the article pulled up, and we may go to.
I know you've been mailing out a bunch of ballots to people, but we might not be able to get them counted at 2 a.m. anymore.
Good call. Good, yeah,
how about this?
Crown.
Breaking. Secret Service declares January 6th, the day of certification of electoral votes, a now national special security event.
That's interesting.
I think they might be out there making excuses for the Kamala Lamity. I think they might be making excuses for Kamala Harris. The Cacklementum. Maybe they're already saying, well, she would have won if all of our mail-in ballots would have been counted. I think that this is a very dire warning to Democrats. Maybe it's a cope. I don't know. But are the Democrats setting up for some sort of denial? Is Kamala Harris going to deny the results?
Yep.
Whose voters vote in person? Trump's. Trump's voters vote in person. They're not worried about Trump votes not making it in the mail. So again, I will remind for the 1 billionth time, outside of making sure if you're a YouTube viewer that you subscribe to Quartercast, which will be linked in the pinned comment. They're warning Democrats that they're in trouble. The 2025 counting and certification of electoral votes in Washington, D.C. and January 6th has now been designated a special national security event by the Security of Homeland Security.
I think it's like setting up, like, if they do get the steal on and then people try to go protest again, they can use direct force, they can use the law against them, things like that. Dude, again, I'm not for protesting in this day and age. Like, honestly, stay online, do it online. We're fighting mind control. You're not going to do that in the streets, right? It's not going to happen. You need to stay online, stay based, give good information out, give good links out to information, and engage in good conversation with people. Don't let them get into fallacies and communication breakdowns with you. Get back to the basics and just have conversations again.
It's redundant. This marks the very first time National Special Security Event designation has been granted for the certification of electoral votes, and follows the request of D.C. Mayor to designate it. What does that mean to you? Does that mean, some people say, that means they're going to try to cheat again? That's what some people are saying in the comments.
It sounds like they're definitely
some people saying the company never forget this day that the government started a riot to cover up an election. Questions. Prepare for the riggage. Why does this feel like it's staged? Now that they federally declared a national event, they call all the shots and the votes, and we're supposed to succumb to their hierarchy. Don't like this one bit. Sweet Jesus, get ready for something big. Tuesday, November 5th is before then. This should be National Count All the Votes Day.
Yep.
Prepare for something big. That's why I'm telling you to vote early and in person. Track your vote. Follow your vote. Harris falling behind among male voters in key states. Men don't like her. She comes across as crotchety and entitled.
Yep.
Men don't like brat. New polls show Vice President Harris faces a major challenge of winning over male voters and is losing men by a bigger margin than she's winning women in key states. Men,
except for white cucks for Kamala, like that sorry group,
don't want to vote for a woman president. They don't. Women don't want to vote for a woman president. This is known. I mean, vote early, in person, and then you go. You find a friend, family member, somebody. Convince them to go vote. Drop them off. Let them go vote. Don't tell them how to vote. Make a strong case for them. That's why I made tailgates for Trump. Donald Trump. I'm voting the other way, but to each their own. How about this? Breaking news. Maricopa County, according to this tweet, now admits that there is, in fact, no chain of custody documents for the November 8th, 2022 election. From the 223 voting centers, number of voters checked in, total ballots cast, early ballots dropped off for the 28 days, and all ballots paper. DC Drano writes, remember when the entire world watched Maricopa County almost fully shut down half of their election system in 2022 to stop Kerry Lake and then claimed everything was just fine? Yeah, it turns out things were very not fine, and now they're finally admitting it was a third world scam. You know, what does this all mean? What does this all mean? Well, I think it's pretty ominous that they're declaring it a national special security event, don't you?
Hold on. We got a comment on that one. T-Rex Trucking and More. T-Rex Trucking and More is going for, he's trying to get it. He's trying to go for the sponsorship of the stream tonight. Shelly is in the lead, but you know, you keep trying. You can do it. T-Rex Trucking and More, $5 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. Special national security events aren't anything super special. DNC is one, RNC is one, the Super Bowl is one, the NCAA college football playoff games is also one, I believe. Okay, so cool. I guess they have special security events now. Maybe he just doesn't know that. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if he didn't. Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of going on and on about this for a long time. So I'm all about just kind of fast forwarding that anyways. But thank you for that key insight. T-Rex, man, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, the Postal Service just covering their rears regarding of what happens. It's prudent. Yeah, but you know what though? Think about some of the people that work at the post office, right? And who they may lean towards. It's a federal job. It's a government job, right? And we've seen so many videos of postmen and women tearing up votes, lost mail bags, taking ballots out of mailboxes. They are one of those very, very, that, you know, I'm not saying, you know, there's a lot of great people in the post office, but there's some bad actors in there that need to be let go, need to be taken out of their positions, because they during this time of year they spring up everywhere. And I bet you we're gonna find videos out there coming up real soon of them tearing up votes they don't like, and them stealing mail-in ballots to give to certain people. Like, they're literally getting paid to do this. Like, that's what we found out from last election, right? They're literally getting paid to do this in some cases. And guess what? Their cases, like, all of a sudden we hear about it and then they just go away. We never hear anything more about them being prosecuted or what happens to them. So yeah, very sketchy. Keep an eye on, you can't really keep an eye on the postman, but if you see something crazy, them doing something absurd, report them. Again, they're not allowed to tamper with the mail either. Right? If they tamper with the mail, it's a federal crime. They'll go to jail for many, many years. So turn them in if you see them doing it
that way. Then you have the Postal Service saying, hey, we're going to have a problem with mail-in ballots. Let's see, mail-in. Let's just check. I already know this, but mail-in ballots by party. Let's see what absentee ballots look like. 58% of Democrats voted by mail, according to Massachusetts Institute of Technology. 58% of Democrats voted by mail, 29% Republicans. This could be catastrophic for Democrats. That's what they're telling them now. Watch the message change. How we voted from MIT. 65% of mail-in ballots were Democrats. This could be a potential disaster for Democrats. I don't know. Am I doing the Tim Pool thing right now? I don't know. You know, I wish Tim Pool the best. I hope he is.
You always do the same thing, Jeremy. Don't even pick on Timmy.
You know, on the mend. I hope he's healing up. But I would be a fool to not remind you. I have a channel called.
Did he get hurt? What happened to him?
Quartercast Live, where I live stream every day at 1 Eastern, and also whenever.
All right, you're out of here.
Not feeling well, so please do subscribe. It'll be linked.
Okay, whatever, bro. We'll see you in the DeGrifting department. Like, when Jeremy's in his wheelhouse, he does good work. I'll call it out. You know, I actually literally leave him a comment saying, "This is your wheelhouse. This is not your wheelhouse." And so he knows. All right. Anyways, there you have that. So that's another way that they're trying. You got to watch those mail-in ballots. You got to watch it. Now, we did cover a story last time about Google, about, you know, we've been watching this digital media, modern digital media warfare, digital marketing warfare, whatever you want to call it. I did a great episode It was so good that YouTube took 40 views away from it, and shadow banned the video. Like literally, it's getting no traction whatsoever now. It's called the DNC mind control. Hold on, let me get the exact. Let's save that. Okay, let me get the exact name of it real quick, because this video is sadly underviewed, and even though I know that it had like 60 or 70 views that night. They are playing games. They don't like this video at all. They hate it. Unveiling. It's on Unveiling Reality, a 3-hour stream where I break down at the professional level how modern political digital warfare works, and the DNC mind control machine is. I break down the people that are behind Kamala HQ, the digital marketing experts that she has in there. These heartless, soulless individuals who are misusing the sales and marketing world for political gain. They're taking databases and using digital marketing techniques to subvert people, to subvert and promote Kamala Harris. And they are very good at what they do. They're very good. They're highly paid professionals when they're probably not working here. They're probably really highly paid here too. But they brought people in who I can tell by the way they talk, know what they're talking about, and know what they're doing. And if they have any skills in your mind, they're very capable of doing exactly what they're setting out to do. In fact, we're going to see, I think later on, we're going to see an instance of where they kind of show their heads again, show their faces again, or anyways. All right, so that's that. I want to go to the OMG, the O'Keefe Media Group, formerly, O'Keefe, formerly of Project Veritas. Let's get that one up and going here. All right, that's next. Okay, so to follow up from last time on Winning 2024. Let me just bring this to the stage. All right, here we go. This guy right here, right, was again out on a date with a undercover, and he was talking freely about how they use fear to manipulate you in the Google algorithm. How they and he has no bones about it. Now, this is O'Keefe coming to confront him after he's already been busted. So look, let me just tell you something real quick. Once you see O'Keefe coming for you dressed up like this, it's over. He already has everything on you. He already has everything on you. All right. So this guy, if he's any kind of, if he has any kind of sophistication outside of his own echo chamber, he knows he's already kind of screwed.
Is this you taken? Yeah. My name is James, and we're doing a story about Google. Okay. Google is coordinating. I've never said that. No, I don't know. You've never said that?
This is like a coordinated effort by big companies to try and get her to win. Yeah, it's definitely coordinated. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely coordinated. Yeah.
What's going on? They're
he knows he's busted.
Reorienting the search engine. These are your words. You don't remember saying that?
They're reorienting the search engine such that Kamala is more favored.
It doesn't look good when you lie about these things. I don't want to say you know what I'm saying. You said lie.
Here on the streets of Los Angeles, he's been rendered mute when I've asked him to elaborate about what he meant by what he said. What's controversial about Google coordinating with Kamala Harris? This is a huge election. There's going to be a lot of people doing some not so nice things. See you later. And he goes into the Whole Foods, going grocery shopping here.
Don't be copyrighted.
That girls deceiving people in that way?
No.
You don't feel that?
No. I mean, it's all like a psyop. I mean, it's like, if you think about what election interference actually is, it's like, what does that mean?
You don't feel bad that maybe these people are being nefarious about their motives?
No. No, not really. Not really.
Okay, I'm gonna go to
Off the base.
Yeah. Hi. My name is James, and we're talking about this Disney tape. Remember that Disney undercover reporting?
So yeah, it's the person who got him here is they call it American Swipers. This is another way that you can kind of get involved if you want to. You can join the American Swipers group, and you may be able to get. They'll teach you how to get these people that are in positions of knowledge about what's going on, how to get them out in public, and how to record them, and how to ask questions of them to try to get the information out of them. So a lot of them few drinks in, they start just running their mouths, man. Especially if you're attractive or they're into you, man. They're really running their mouths.
You're talking to my friend about?
I know Disney had a little controversy like last year because like there were HR executives explicitly saying that we cannot hire white men for like certain roles. And it was like videotaped and like this leak.
Oh, don't be surprised, Crown. It's absolutely there. You absolutely cannot do what these people are doing. Like they are, you know, this is ego taking over for them.
Well, she works for me. We did that, James. And we're doing a story about Google.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
You've already spoken about Google quite a bit. You say all these things to someone. What's going on?
He's like, I just lost my job. Everything I have is gone. How am I going to pay my bills? He's like, everybody at work, all my friends are going to hate me. He's like, dude, he was probably making $150,000 to $200,000 a year. That just went out the window, and he won't be able to get hired again.
What do you mean? Sorry.
Google is coordinating.
I've never said that. No, I don't know.
You've never said that?
Like, what? Look at his hand next to his face. He's shaking.
Google is essentially promoting through its ads, like rhetoric that was very like pro Kamala. And it's like, this is like a coordinated effort by like big tech, like big companies to like try and get her to win. Yeah, it's definitely coordinated. Yeah.
I recognize that you yourself may not agree with that you're doing this, but why not speak out about it?
I'm not speaking about that.
But you already did speak about it.
I just work on ads.
You work in ads.
Yeah.
So when you say these political headlines that are generating clicks, which generates ad revenue, it's all fueled out of hate. You work in advertising? Does anyone really trust the healthcare system? Well, thankfully, there still are some poor health journals. Emergency kit can make. That's tc.health. Video saying these things. Then it's wc.health/OMG. You're on video saying these things. Then it's a big story, right? You can recognize with the election, Trump, Kamala Harris. I mean, these are big stories. People want to know whether our tech companies are coordinating with candidates. People want to know this. And I have a responsibility to the people to tell them what's going on.
I don't know this stuff. Like, I don't know this.
You don't know it?
I do not know this. No.
Do you work at Google? They're reorienting the search engine. These are your words. You don't remember saying that?
No. They're reorienting the search engine such that Kamala is, favored.
Did you say that?
I don't.
You don't think so? It doesn't look good when you lie about these things.
Who are you? Sorry.
Who am I? My name is James O'Keefe.
Sure. Like you work for because like this just feels very uncomfortable.
Well, it's definitely uncomfortable. You're talking about a big story involving a tech company coordinating the Kamala Harris campaign. Don't you think it's uncomfortable though that tech companies would link up with presidential campaigns?
I do not know anything about that.
Come on. I mean, you work in advertising for Google. I wasn't born yesterday. You've been denying that you've said the things that you're on video saying.
Where's the video?
I'll show you the video. That's you, is it not? How have I taken that contract?
I don't feel comfortable.
You don't feel comfortable?
No.
I don't feel comfortable that Google's coordinating with the Kamala Harris campaign. I'm just quoting you. Just quoting you.
Yeah, but it's like these are just like things that I'm so like it's like
just things that you say.
Yes.
Okay. Watch some more of this.
But it's like you go to Google, they're reorienting the search engine such that Kamala is favored. Facebook, I feel like, is promoting content that is favorable towards her. A lot of the AI stuff.
Yeah, drink that beer, bud. You're gonna need it. You're gonna need it.
What are you doing advertising?
I don't want to say anything.
You don't want to say anymore. You've said a lot.
I mean, you're already done.
Are there other people inside Google that agree with your sentiment? That they're definitely coordinating with the Kamala Harris campaign? Maybe we can get a movement of people inside Google come out and tell the world what's happening, right? Dakota? Well, we're here in
Dakota,
Los Angeles, Westwood neighborhood, UCLA, talking to Dakota Liazer, a growth strategy, is that correct? At Google.
Growth strategy, huh? Is that the title?
And he said a lot of things about reorienting the search engine, about coordinating efforts, but here on the streets of Los Angeles, he's been rendered mute when I've asked him to
wanting to grow a campaign through ads, wanting to go in the algorithm and search results and suppressing the competition, that kind of growth strategy.
Elaborate about what he meant by what he said.
What's controversial about Google coordinating with Kamala Harris?
Crickets.
Why do you think that the billionaires want Kamala? Well, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but what makes you say that? You say you can't speak on behalf of your company, but here you are speaking on behalf of your company. Where are you going? This is a huge election. There's going to be a lot of people doing some not so nice things. See you later. And he goes into the Whole Foods, going grocery shopping here. And there it is. Dakota.
What do you want to bet he's going for the alcohol? Like, I need a drink.
Blazer at Google. Whole Foods.
He's going to go home and drink the rest of the night
shocked,
away.
But he lied and he said he didn't say the things he said. And then I showed him the video and then he said he felt uncomfortable.
I love it.
Don't we all feel uncomfortable? I feel uncomfortable here on the streets of this city. Reporting from Los Angeles, James O'Keefe with OMG. He's showing up again. Hi.
Wait,
are you walking around the block in circles? He's walking. He's just walking around the block in circles. It's
so
like a
weird.
Robotic circular movement around the block. It's the strangest thing I've ever seen. Well, here we
Man, oh man, I love this. Hold on. Thank you for the $5 super chat, T-Rex Trucking and more. Breaking news from Team Trump. In addition to no tax on tips, there were other tax cuts. Trump said he wishes to have no tax on overtime. Yeah, I actually opened the show with that, man. Thank you for the super chat and bringing that back up for people who may have missed that. Yeah, I actually opened the show with that, him giving that speech, and I also added to it. I hope that this keeps going. Like, we don't need to tax bonuses either. That's my big thing. Like, stop taxing bonuses. I usually work salary and I usually work contracts, which I don't get overtime for either one. But some people do work overtime and it's important to them, especially people that are in trades and that work, like, they're pipe fitters or electricians or anything like that, right? Overtime, OT is a big deal for them. So I hope that goes through for them. Tax on tips, service industry people, no tax on tips, never should have been. So he's helping everybody else, get out of taxes, the income tax, the best way he can. Now, the next step, man, stop taxing those bonuses. Stop taxing the bonuses. Because, man, I tell you what, that's part of the reason why you will go with a company full time. They're like, yeah, plus bonuses, plus a 15% bonus of your salary, right? At the end of the year. If you're in good standing, that's usually how it works. But then the government comes in and takes a big chunk out of that. I mean, more than you usually get out of your paycheck. So it's kind of a downer, when you're expecting, even for someone who's expecting a $1,500 bonus, think about if they come in and take 40% of that, 40% of that, it's cut in half, practically cut in half. So that sucks. So yeah, thank you for that, T-Rex. I appreciate it, buddy. I appreciate it. All right. So yeah, man, I'll tell you what, man, O'Keefe Media Group, that seeing Google, these tech elitists, these tech people that are working out there and mindlessly falling ranks. I love it when they're involved in bad shit like this and they know what's going on and they won't blow the whistle on it. When they get busted and they blabbering, running their mouths, I freaking love it. I love it. And that one was especially fulfilling because that guy, he knew he was screwed. And did he really get fired? Is he really gone? Special, like you said something up here. He said, someone said Crown, or somebody said, $5 bro no longer works there 2 hours after O'Keefe blew the whistle. Is that a fact, or is that just you're just kind of having some fun there? I mean, I wouldn't doubt it, man. He definitely should be gone. I mean, then here comes the memo from HR. Just a reminder, we're all under non-disclosure agreements. If anybody, you're not allowed to talk about what goes on here with your job with people outside of, and they probably have people re-sign it and re-sign it again. And they keep changing it and elaborating on it and so on. And you know what? One of my favorite things in the world is, besides when justice is served, is when there's a super chat battle in the chat. $10 from Talking Trash with Drew saying, T-Rex trying to take my place as sponsor. I dare you. Uh-oh, it's on. It's on. It's on. Look out. Look out. Look out. It's coming. Oops. Okay. Yeah, I got it. It's coming. Look out. Look out. Look out. Bring it on. Thank you so much for that, Shelly. Thank you so much. All right, where are we at? Yeah, I'm over here. How come it's stuck out there? Oh, that's why. Gotcha. Look at that. I actually almost didn't send that super chat because of the possibility of taking the spot. Well, don't you dare. Don't you let her push you around like that. Oh, yes, you do. Come on, T-Rex. You sure do. Yes, you do. All right. That's part of the reason for quitting startups, starting up, to why work beyond your potential. If any bonus you get is over time is taxed, so you get nothing for the extra stress and time. That is part of the reason for quiet quitting, starting up. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, people get discouraged by that. Yeah, they get discouraged. Yes, thank you both. Thank you both for being awesome members of the winner circle and awesome friends. Thank you guys. I really do appreciate it. All right, guys, let's move on to the next one. So that's great stuff right there. Here's another thing. This one I'm going to do this way. So let me just go ahead and close that out and bring this up. Guys, there's even more going on, right? I wanted to go ahead and just do my own take and my own and just do it this way. All right, so I'm gonna have to do it this way so we can actually read it, or maybe even do it this way. There we go. All right, I'm in the corner. You can still see me. I'm still here. All right. No one is paying attention. Google whistleblower tells Rogan free and fair elections is an illusion. Well, I mean, we've known that. We grew up in the false left right paradigm where the illusion was the illusion of choice, because both candidates were always establishment. Yeah, most people still don't know that yet, but we're trying to get the word out. Let me just go ahead and make that seeable here. Senior research psychologist and Google critic Dr. Robert Epstein, no relation to the other guy, told popular podcast host Joe Rogan on Wednesday that a free and fair election is an illusion. Now warning about the rise of technological elite. Yeah, well, we know that's coming. In June 2019, Epstein addressed Congress over his concerns that Google not only poses a serious threat to democracy, that means ruled by the people, Ellie, not that's the way he's using it there, right? I know that all the establishment hijacked that term, and we all know that it means authoritarianism to them. But yeah, in this case, most people still try to use it the right way. And human autonomy. I tell you what, just for Ellie, I'm going to do this. His concerns that Google not only possesses a serious threat to constitutional republic and human autonomy, but also advising how the lawmaker could end Google's worldwide monopoly on search. Appearing in the Joe Rogan Experience, Epstein explained his belief that there hasn't been a free and fair election nationally since 2012. What? Shut the front door, man. Shut the front door. That's not true at all. Ron Paul. They totally screwed him, man. Ron Paul should have been the nominee and he should have been the president. They totally screwed him. Oh, no, it was fair. Bullshit. He's just going by he doesn't understand. Again, this is where you can know some stuff but not know everything about a situation, because your research or your awakening or your clarity starts off at one point and you never went back to figure out the rest, right? False left-right paradigm. I talk about it all the time, right? That, I even explained to people who the people were that came in, how they came in, how they took over the GOP party, and how it became the illusion of choice, the false left-right paradigm for decades. We were literally born, most of us were literally born into it. All right. I did the research. I went back and went through. I mean, if I tell you guys how I did this, I have to explain it for 15 minutes, right? I just trust me. You guys know me. I did it. Am I the winner? Thank you, T-Rex, for the $10 super chat. Am I the winner yet? Let me see. Hold on. I did a dumb thing and I unstarted a bunch of these way back up to the beginning. So I have to keep track. I have to go all the way back to the beginning. Hold on. So I explained this many times, guys. I know I'm probably going to wear you guys out with it, so I'm not going to go through it entirely again. But just to say that no, the illusion of choice goes way back further. And no, Obama was not. I mean, dude, come on. Obama was not a fair election at all because Ron Paul didn't get a chance to run against him, and he had a huge, as big a following as the other side. Yet he didn't have the missing qualities that Trump brought to the table, which was his own personal ability to finance his own campaign, right? And he wasn't calling out the media hard enough. He wasn't going after them hard enough. He was too damn nice. And that was okay because he was out there to teach the younger generation the missing philosophy of liberty they didn't get in schools. So let me see. I know there was another one. Yeah, this one. Yeah, start that. Okay, so maybe I get it right. Okay. Let's see, 10, and then there was the memberships, 20, 30, I'd say 40 something on Jelly, 10, 20, 20, 25. No, you're still a little bit behind, T-Rex, but thank you for the super chat, and I just want to make sure I answered your question. But you're always a winner, in my opinion. All right, there you go. Here's the winner. What? Yep. She did. All right. Got yet another warning from Washington about not having political parties. Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I explained about how it works in Europe, right? You end up collecting into these smaller groups, and then you end up just going back into one side or the other. So it's all about the amount of government you're willing to tolerate, the left side or the right side, left, a total government, right, no government at all, like far extremes, right? That's how it goes. That's how you're supposed to measure it. So constitutional size of government falls to the right, and it falls deeper than center, right? At this point, but we're getting closer. T-Rex sent a 99-cent chat. Thanks for that. That's awesome. Oh, and a $10 super sticker. Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much, man. Right on. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Let me see what it is. It's someone crying and laughing at the same time. I love it. Perfect. That's my show in a nutshell right there. Tell me, I'm done. Okay. Thank you guys so much. So anyways, yeah, I had to stop and address that real quick because some people have opinions. They're just limited by their experience, right? We are finding overwhelming evidence. However, we are finding overwhelming evidence that there are very deliberate and very systematically messing with us and our elections, especially. I personally believe that and at least the national level has not existed. Epstein said it's just been manipulated since now. So maybe Google has been manipulating it since then. I don't think so. But I mean, it's hard for me to read this because I'm just going to stop and correct them. Let's just let them talk. And I can't because it's Joe Rogan. They'll nail me. So I tell you what I'll do. I'm just going to grab this link. All right. That didn't go too well, but it's all right. I'm going to grab the link and put it out there. If you guys want to follow up on this, you can. Because of YouTube censorship, I cannot play the video. But just to say that, yeah, we just saw how the guy from Google talking about it. So I really probably didn't even bring that up. But if you guys want to listen to what this guy has to say, go ahead. We did the post office. We did that. And let me go back to our list. Where are we at? Okay, cool. We're coming up on 3 hours. And hey, okay, so here we go. It's time to get into some of the I don't want to play this. Okay, so actually I'm going to do this first. I'll pull this up here before we get into degrifting, the earring degrifting. I want to play this real quick. I'm not going to play all of it, but I'm going to go through this kind of quick. I just want to
in today. First of all, I want to welcome you, Janine. And I'm just going to kind of go through and we'll follow up with what your party is and who you're voting for and all of that. So, Ruben, you have joined us before, so welcome back. And we have
this lady in the back. I swear to God, I know her from somewhere. This is I think it's in Atlanta. I think they're in Atlanta. Maybe not. I don't know. But I swear to God, I know this lady or I've seen her before. Like maybe I might have worked with her. I don't know. But there's something.
Thank you for being.
Like I just felt like I know this lady from somewhere, and I don't know why.
Jay, welcome back. Good to.
I really don't know
why.
why.
Jay in the house and Ruben, Amanda in the center, and David. Welcome.
Yeah, Amanda. I swear to God, if that's the same, we might have like used to hung out or something, man. I don't know. Like, I mean, like in a group. I think she was, but if it's the same one I'm thinking of, I swear to God, I know that face. Man. I swear to God, I know that woman. But anyways, we don't need to listen to her too much. All right, so watch this, because she's really left. She just makes excuses for Kamala the entire time. It's really sickening.
Concern the economy. Let's watch together.
So Donald Trump has no plan for you. And when you look at his economic plan, it's all about tax breaks for the richest people. I am offering what I describe as an opportunity economy, and the best economists in our country.
Just so you're straight, blue Democrats, red Republicans, yellow independents. Mimsy, thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. You're so awesome. Thank you, Mimsy. That's very sweet of you. Thank you so much. And thank you for all you do for the channel. I really do appreciate it. Just like T3 is saying right there, you are awesome. Thank you so much.
Country, if not the world, have reviewed our relative plans for the future of America. What Goldman Sachs has said is that Donald Trump's plan would make the economy worse. Mine would strengthen the economy. What the Wharton School has said is Donald Trump's plan would actually explode the deficit. 16 Nobel laureates have described his economic plan as something that would increase inflation and by the middle of next year would invite a recession.
It's a great plan. It's a plan that's going to bring up our worth, our value as a country. It's going to make people want to be able to go and work and create jobs and create a lot of good, solid money for our country. Just to finish off, she doesn't have a plan. She copied Biden's plan, and it's like 4 sentences, like run, spot, run. 4 sentences that are just, oh, we'll try and lower taxes. She doesn't have a plan. They had the highest inflation perhaps in the history of our country, because I've never seen a worse period of time. People can't go out and buy cereal or bacon or eggs or anything else. The people of our country are absolutely dying with what they've done. They've destroyed the economy.
Well, one of the things I noticed right away there, Lee, is that the blue line started to flatten and not dip so low down on that last one. He gets where people are.
He gets where people are in the economy. And that was a really interesting takeaway from me last night. I didn't expect to see independents tracking so much with Republicans last night. And they did. They wanted to hear the meat on the economy. They wanted to hear the plan. And while most of the voters that we spoke with agreed stylistically with Kamala, they said that she...
That has been headlines for weeks.
So my values have not changed, and I'm going to discuss at least every point that you've made. But in particular, let's talk about fracking, because we're here in Pennsylvania. I made that very clear in 2020. I will not ban fracking. I have not banned fracking as Vice President of the United States. And in fact, I was the tie-breaking vote on the Inflation Reduction Act, which opened new leases for fracking. My position is that we have got to invest in diverse sources of energy so we reduce our reliance.
Look at, you see the yellow is below the red
on foreign oil.
Defund the police. She's been against that forever. She gave all that stuff up very wrongly, very horribly, and everybody's laughing at it, okay? They're all laughing at it. She gave up at least 12 and probably 14 or 15 different policies. Like, she was big on defund the...
Okay, the red line is Republicans, yellow is independents, and the blue are Democrats. And these are people that are in real time, basically, they have like this dial, right? And they're dialing it in one direction or the other about how they feel about what they're hearing. So it's like real-time monitoring of how people are thinking and feeling at the moment it's going on. And so that's what you're seeing right here. So these are Republican voters, independents, undecideds, right? And Democrats. There you go.
Police. In Minnesota, she went out. Wait a minute. I'm talking now. If you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar? She went out in Minnesota and wanted to let criminals that killed people, that burned down Minneapolis, she went out and raised money to get them out of jail. She did things that nobody would ever think of. Now she wants to do transgender operations on illegal aliens that are in prison. This is a radical left liberal that would do this. She wants to confiscate your guns, and she will never allow fracking in Pennsylvania. If she won the election, fracking in Pennsylvania will end on day one.
So again, you saw something similar there where Republicans and independents are tracking together. And obviously that is per party, but independents supposedly don't have one that they've designated yet.
And one of the things that I heard from voters last night, I'd be really curious what you guys think, is the independent voters were looking for 2 things from Kamala. One, they wanted to hear more in depth on her policies. What was she really going to do for the economy? What was going to be different about the economy under her than it would have been under Biden? And number 2, they wanted her to explain why she's had so many changes. She couldn't stick, they wouldn't let her get away. We've talked about before. They didn't want her to get away with this idea of values. And so she didn't give the why that allowed people to authentically say you have a reason to change. And I think that's why you saw the independents were really up there with Republicans, and Democrats obviously were not.
So Jay, I want to ask you something similar to what I asked Alexandria on the second question. That was about the economy. This is about public safety, police, and military, so to speak. The blue line there for Democrats was going down, and then it kind of flattened out when he got to what life is like in urban cities or urban areas. What are your thoughts on that?
Life in urban areas are complicated due to a myriad of factors that are not present when we talk about rural areas. And so I think it's easy to make inferences that don't really make this.
Icon Ruby Sales, who says, where does it hurt?
And it's a big issue for voters. Here is the former president on that.
There you go.
criminals off the street, and they've given them to her to put into our country. And this will be one of the greatest mistakes in history for them to allow. And I think they probably did it because they think they're going to get votes, but it's not worth it because they're destroying the fabric of our country by what they've done. There's never been anything done like this at all. They've destroyed the fabric of our country. Millions of people let in, and all over the world, crime is down all over the world except here. Crime here is up and through the roof, despite their fraudulent statements that they made. Crime in this country is through the roof, and we have a new form of crime. It's called migrant crime, and it's happening at levels that nobody thought possible.
All right, you can't miss it. I mean, at one point, those lines stopped going together, and independents started going up a little bit higher than Republicans. I mean, they were right up. What is going on with independents? And we better pay a lot of attention to them.
We better. And I'll tell you, it's really interesting because in 2020, we didn't see this. We saw a big split between independents, Republicans, Democrats. It was like, you know, all different. It was like spaghetti lines. What we're seeing now is very much like we saw in 2016, which is independents are tracking very much with Republicans. They're looking for a couple things. They're looking for answers on immigration. They're looking for answers on the economy. They want to hear that things are going to get better for them. And they also want change from what's happening right now. I think one of the most important things they were looking for last night from Kamala Harris is how are you going to make it different? One of Trump's most powerful statements that he said is when he said, you know, why haven't you done it for the last 3.5 years? You are Biden. And he was really trying to say, there's going to be no change with you. And people are looking for that. So you can see in these clips, and I was really, really surprised because the intensity of the independent support there for Donald Trump was very, very strong. And I didn't expect it.
Ruben, I saw you nodding. Why? Kamala Harris falsely suggested that Donald Trump was opposed to IVF treatments. Let's watch.
I have been a leader on fertilization, IVF. And the other thing, you should ask, will she allow abortion in the 8th month, 9th month, 7th month?
Come on.
Okay, would you do that? Why don't you answer that question?
Why don't you answer
That's
the question?
problem.
Would you
because
veto?
under Roe v.
Answer
Wade,
the question, would you veto?
you could do abortions in the 7th month, the 8th month, the 9th
That's
month,
not true.
and probably after birth.
So, okay, I want to get your take on this because the IVF, that's so fact checkable. That's so knowable. How did she not know? He talks about it a lot.
He does talk about it a lot. And I think that's why that portion resonated. I think she has a much stronger story when it comes to abortion and reproductive.
So she just started by saying she's going to do this, she's going to do that, she's going to do all these wonderful things. Why hasn't she done it? She's been there for 3.5 years. They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. They've had 3.5 years to create jobs and all the things we talked about. Why hasn't she done it? She should leave right now, go down to that beautiful White House, go to the Capitol, get everyone together and do the things you want to do, but you haven't done it and you won't do it because you believe in things that the American people don't believe in.
Okay, so you had a fairly large portion with hand dials. So everybody's like doing this real time. You're getting it. What was going on?
Hand dials. That's the way they do it right there.
On there.
So I think this was an.
Oh man. Let's see, is there anything else here? I swear to God, I know that lady, like a younger version. Okay, I think that's it. I might actually. I mean, if I was making videos, I'd clip out all these sections right here, like where the lines are, and just make it. I might do that as a short, maybe. I might do that. I don't know if it'll get any traction, but I might do it because it's just so good. It's so good just to show people like where things really are at. You know, be like, oh wow, you know, for those people who have that like popularity bias going on, they want to be on the winning team, right? No matter what, they're like, well, if everybody's doing that, then I should do it too. Like the bell cow mentality, kind of like mixed in the middle there. All right. So that's that. That's what I wanted to show you there. On to DeGriftings. Now, the thing that's going around right now, I think this is the only one we're going to do tonight. Though there are other ones out there that I could dive into, but this one seems to be making its way around. It's so frustrating. And let me just start by saying that the conspiracy grifting, man, is really hurting our side. It doesn't make us look good. It's making the top viewed, top supported channels out there outside the establishment media. It's making them look like absolute shit. Absolute shit, man. And one of the main problems, man, I gotta say, is and here's the thing: is I agree with the people that are doing it. I agree with a lot of their takes, but when they do this thing, right? When they jump the shark, man, it makes, I have to call them out no matter who they are, and it makes us all look bad. And this whole earring thing right after the debate became the big shark jump of the night, right? It became the big shark jump of the night. Oh, nice. Fair tax. Cool. Following off, crypto po' boy back. That is Old Blue Eyes. All right. So I just followed him back on there on X. Let me go to my profile. And this will run down the things that winning is saying on X. That should be a segment too. What is winning saying on X? Well, you wouldn't believe it, but it's been a long time. So I don't say much on it anymore. I'm talking about the platform, of course. Now I'm talking about the platform. Yes, I did. I put the core rings face on Fonzie. I sure did. Sure did. Trump and Vance are 100% behind IVF. They want more babies. More, of course they do. I mean, of course they do. They're in the reproduction and saving babies business. Like, why wouldn't they want more babies? It's just so stupid. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah, you guys want to see it again? Hold on, one more time. Yep, I did it. I did it. I did that. All right. And it needed to happen, right? It had to happen. All right. So here we go. This is the thing that has to do with this, right? I capital letters. I will, I don't know what time I posted this, probably in the morning. But I said, stop letting conspiracy grifters abuse you. They knee-jerk react and only use lying eyes research. Trademark. Lying eyes research. They are damaging the reputation of MAGA and its supporters. Who benefits from that the most? Right? Don't jump the shark. Do better. So that's really just my message to anybody that I degrift, including Jeremy, including Alex Jones, or whoever. Right? This whole thing got spun up by those group of people. Right? And I can't even put the blame on one person. I don't know who went first, but I mean, AJ jumped right on it. Right, he jumped right on it, and it's embarrassing because you think after Sandy Hook he would have learned his lesson. So I'm more critical and expect more from him than I do these other guys that are newer to it, because he should know better. He should know better. All right, so here's the way it works. Harris had these earrings on, right, and people were swearing to God that these N1 or H1, N1 H1 earrings, audio earrings, right? Now, if you know anything about audio devices, right? If you have a Bluetooth headset, if you have any of these things, you know that even little spy cams or whatever, you know that they're more bulkier, like the spy glasses or whatever you put on, and they have the camera in them. They're more bulky than normal things, right? Because they have to hold the components in it. And I know people are going to think Hollywood and the movies again and television. We don't live in those worlds. Those are fake worlds. There's the technology and the movies and in TV are way ahead of what we can actually do. They usually are, right? Because it's fantasy, and you have to have fast answers in movies too. You can't wait, you can't wait for things to work out, right? Or you can't jump ahead in time in the script, and because you need to have a more realistic expectation, like the way that it is in the world. Television and movies are fantasy, right? So they're allowed to be absurd. In fact, when you see anything on television and the movies that relates to regular life, you should automatically assume it's a parallel universe, right? Just do that. That'll get you out of the mindset that any of this is based in your reality, because it's not. All right. And this is the whole thing that happens with these people. They see something and they want it to be there. And so they come out. I've left a shit ton of information and links right here where you can actually compare the differences. All right. So let me pull this down real quick and pop these up, and just to show. I don't know if I can actually do that one. Better be careful. Make sure I got all my ducks in a row here. Yeah, you don't want that one. All right. This one and this one. Yeah. Okay. So this woman she has some expensive taste. Kamala Harris has some expensive taste, right? And she's got lots of money because she's been down on them knees earning it, right? Let me just show you right now. We'll do it this way. Let me show you right now what I got. All right. So here is her with the earrings right here. Okay. They look like that. They have one thing here, and then there's a pearl, right? And this is the earrings that she's wearing right here, right? You see how they go, how they look? They got that little hoop and loop there. There's no room right here. And they're very expensive, by the way. It's a very expensive set of earrings here. And there's no way that you can fit any components in there, right? No way. Ellie, you with me? All right, cool. Yeah, well, people have ticks and they have weird things. Honestly, again, you can't. You got to go with the facts here, man. And she's worn these same earrings for years, way before this debate, way before she ever knew she was running for president. She wore these earrings, right? We got to go with the base truth here. All right. So there you have that. All right. All right. Get lost. Okay. And these are the Nova H1 audio earrings that everybody's raving about here. And they say that she's using. Now, listen, here's the other thing. They're calling out specifically these set of earrings. Okay. That's the grift that's going on right now. Okay. That's the grift that's going on right now. This is not the same set of earrings. All right. These are clipped on, right? They have components in them. See how heavy they are? They have components in them. All right. There you go. And that's what they look like when someone's wearing them. You see? Now, if she had if she had these on, she wouldn't need to cup her ears either. No, I can't agree with that. I'm sorry. I can't. I mean, it wouldn't be accurate. I would be breaking my own principles if I were to say that, because this to me, this is indisputable proof. And again, what does she need it for? Hey, Memento, what's up? But I would like you to seriously consider the evidence that I present, Ellie, because it's not about, I'm not trying to, you can believe what you want, right? But I'm just showing you in clear, it's very clear. I mean, and that what people want to do is they want to believe, I believe that they want to believe this because she got some over on Trump, and there's no way she should have gotten anything over on Trump. I think that's what is at the core of it. And I think if you ask yourself what's going on with it, you probably will find that. I mean, dude, when Timmy comes out, many other people are going to tell you the same thing here. But when Tim Pool comes out, all right, when Tim Pool comes out, we can agree to disagree. We do know we have upfront pictures of this, but let's just listen to some of this and then we'll talk about it in a second. We'll put that on a shelf for 1 minute. All right. Let's listen to some other opinions. All right. And we'll see what's going on.
From Newsweek, a conspiracy theory emerges. Was Kamala Harris wearing audio headphone earrings? I love this. It's probably not true, and I don't care if it is true, but to me, it feels like a cope. To claim that Kamala Harris had to wear special earpieces is just a waste of time. A lot of people are pointing it out, but here we go. What are Nova H1 audio earrings? Kamala Harris conspiracy spreads online. There have been so many of these.
Hold on. No, you guys didn't hear me? Or you did hear me? Wait, hold on. I haven't been looking down. I got noise coming from the other side of the room, so I'm trying to mute when I need to. Did you guys hear me? Was I there? No, I wasn't there. No, I wasn't there, but the pictures I'm showing were from there. All right.
Donald Trump had something in his hair, and I think it was like something that held his hair up or something like that. And people were claiming that Trump was using bone induction audio devices. So how they work is there's no speaker. There's a speaker, but it vibrates into the bone, so you hear it, and it's not loud. So Google Glass was famous. Remember Google Glass 10 years ago?
Yeah.
This one piece that went over your ear.
Mm-hmm.
And when it was making noise, you couldn't really hear anything. But when you put it on your ear, it vibrated into the bone, and your ear could translate the vibrations into sound. And that was, people claimed Trump had one of those. I remember, what was it like? Bush and Romney had like a box in his jacket or something. And they were like, he's got a listening device. This proves it. I don't care if he does.
The thing, this grift's been going on forever, and it gets old. And it really does us no good to be talking about this when the country is burning. It's so stupid.
But here's the story. Newsweek says A conspiracy theory doing the rounds on social media following yesterday's debate says that Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris was wearing hidden earphones disguised as pearl earrings. The conspiracy theory says that Harris was wearing a set of Nova H1 audio earrings created by German startup Nova Products during the first presidential debate between Trump. This sounds like someone was trying to come up with why Kamala did better than they thought, and they're coping. The clip-on earrings, according to the startup's Kickstarter page, are placed on the earlobes and project the sound from inside the pearl straight into your ear canal. It adds that 2 tiny high-end microphones are integrated into each earring, providing the user with crystal clear phone calls and wind noise cancellation. Debuted at CES in Vegas, January 23, these Bluetooth wearables have directional sound that allow for privacy. Any audio output is absolutely private, so you're the only one hearing your conversations and music. While video footage of the debate shows that Harris is wearing pearl earrings, several social media users have pointed out there's similarity with a pair of double pearl hinged earrings from Tiffany & Co. Newsweek reached out to the Harris campaign for comment, which is silly, by the way. Yep. It's not the first time conspiracy theories have circulated.
And so what happens? Our side gets pinned with this shit, right? And then what are they going to do? They're going to come out and be like, see, all these people, all those MAGA, they're unhinged conspiracy theorists. This is why conspiracy grifts hurt us. Look, you know, maybe she did better than people wanted her to do because they hate her. You got to really, really look at yourself and say, am I being completely logical about this, right? Because if someone was in her ear, I don't think they did her they didn't do her good much, you know, they didn't do a real good favor right there, man. I don't think they helped her at all, right? And, you know, people were looking, oh, because she's doing this, doing that. But we're not, you know, again, that's the time when you're not in the room, right? And she's acting weird, she's on camera, you know, fidgets, some things like that doesn't prove someone was, I mean, it's harder to prove, let me put it this way, it's harder to prove that she was getting fed things to say through an earring than it is to prove that that she just had normal earrings on. I mean, absolutely 100%, you know. There you go. Only the tip of his ear got shot. So he didn't, I don't think he had any hearing damage at all. So, you know, wouldn't she have done better if she had an earpiece in? You know, I mean, it's like if they keep putting earpieces in their establishment candidates instead of just making them grind in the talking points for days and days and days before the debate, and wouldn't they stop doing it if it just didn't work? You know,
communications during presidential debates. Similar claims were made about Hillary Clinton during the 2016 campaign.
Oh, here you go.
Specifically after a televised forum called the Commander-in-Chief Forum on September 7th, 2016. Some conservative websites and social media users circulated an image that showed Clinton wearing an earpiece during the event.
This isn't an
websites,
argument.
PolitiFact and Snopes examined and dismissed claims that a flesh-colored earpiece could be seen in Clinton's ear. There was also a claim that Joe Biden wore a hidden earpiece during a debate. This emerged before the presidential debate between Biden and Trump.
You could almost expect after every debate for someone to come up with something like this. It's almost predictable now.
It's every single time, okay?
Yeah.
So here we go. Alex Jones posted this.
Right. I mean, look, how dumb are you when you can't get the damn picture right? I mean, look. I mean, Alex, I'm mad at Alex here. I'm talking to Alex. Anybody grifted by him it's an effect. It's an after effect. But look, I expect better from him. I like his takes on the globalists. I like his takes on WEF and the UN. Make sure I'll say that up front. We all know that he blows it from time to time. Sandy Hook, right? Boston, you know, chemtrails. He blows it a lot, but he also gets a lot right. So I give him credit, and he's fighting the good fight. Some people just don't get it, you know, but he's made a lot of money doing it. And unfortunately he's had to pay a lot of money for being wrong. But look at this is see-through right here. It's see-through. This is the 2 separate bars. This is a solid piece. All right. This is a piece of shit, piece of plastic pearl. This is a real pearl, right? You could tell by the gloss on it, right? I mean, why do you have to ask yourself, why do you want it to be true?
Earpieces that look like earrings. Looks a lot like what cackling Kamala was wearing. What do you think? No, it doesn't. The Nova earring goes on the ear, and it's a single gold band that drops down. Nova H1 audio earrings, the first and only wireless earphones embedded in a pair of pearl earrings on a gold or silver plated clip. It's a Kickstarter, by the way. Then you jump over to this. It's not the same thing at all. She's wearing pearl earrings.
See what I'm saying? I mean, if Tim Pool's getting this right, I mean, come on, man. If he's getting it right, there you have it.
And I must remind all of you, she's worn them before.
Yes.
Here we go. Red Pill USA tweets, initially I was skeptical, but after conducting some research, it appears there may be truth to the allegation regarding Kamala Harris using assistants during the presidential debate. Am I mistaken, or do these resemble the Nova H1 audio earrings that Kamala is wearing? They don't.
They don't.
I don't know what to tell you. They
At
don't
all.
resemble. I don't know. I feel like
I mean, at all. And I don't understand where the mind control is coming in here. That people see two different things. Like they don't resemble them at all. Here, let me just my hogging the screen here. Go. There you go. They don't resemble them at all. At all. At all. At all. Right? This is the Nova. Right there. See it? Does anybody think that this earring right here is the same earring as this one right here? Right? It's not the same.
Am I mistaken? Or do these resemble the Nova H1 audio earrings that Kamala is wearing? They don't.
Good night, Heidi. Take care. Thank you for being
they don't
here.
Resemble. I don't know. I feel like it's a coat. People don't want to just admit that Kamala performed better than they thought. Everybody was saying, before the debate, this is what everybody's saying. Kamala is going to do miserably. Trump's going to mop the floor with her. It's going to be bad. She's going to be exposed. The funny thing is, I saw all these memes being posted about Joe Biden. Well, when Trump debated Joe Biden, he absolutely obliterated the man. Trump won the debate against Biden so well that Joe Biden dropped out of the race. Can you believe it?
The debates are unfair, but this is
at the very least, I say it's a coin toss. Trump had righteous indignation. He was stronger and more fierce.
This makes our side look like shit when people, the big names come out and support shark jumping, knee jerk, lionized research. I mean, it's like this is not confirmed. And it's not even reasonable because these things do not look alike. They don't look alike. If I were to lay, I feel like this is the Yuri Bezmenov moment where he goes, no matter what you do, you can bring dump Trump evidence, take them to the gulags. They won't believe what they're seeing, right? And it's like I could take this N1 earring, H1 earring, whatever it's called, right, and put it next to this Tiffany earring and put it right in front of somebody, right in front. They could hold it in their hands, they could smell it, they could paste it, whatever they wanted to do. Two completely different earrings, right, bought in two different places, two different companies, right, and they would still be like, oh, they're the same. They're not the same. They're not. I mean, it's clear as day, and that's the thing that people want to believe things so much sometimes, right? That they literally will start to believe that they're seeing the same thing that's not there, and I think it's abusive. I think these people are being abused by information.
Sometimes I don't think it was a particularly great definitive thing for anybody. The media is going to claim Kamala won. Doesn't matter if she did win. They're going to say this because low information voters being polled later on will be like, yeah, I think Kamala won because I heard that on the news. That's the game they're playing. Immediately, this is fascinating.
I mean, these things where they touch their ear in the movies and they're talking back and forth. It's like you see it on like all the superhero shows. We were watching some other like the Boys or like anything like that. Whatever you're watching, where they got all this high tech, government secret spy stuff, right? And they just touch their ear and they're talking. That shit doesn't even exist. That shit's all like made up, right? They have to use real stuff that works, and they have to deal with interference. They have to deal with other things, man. It's like they have put this impression that this spy tech is so much better than it is because movies have convinced us of it. And we think that movies are based on reality. They're not. They're not based on reality. I mean, they're based on reality and then take it to the next level. Like they're based on the future tech that may exist in the future. But it's made to work with the film. It's made to work with the television.
During our live show last night, I said,
okay, I think I got this point across here. I want to go ahead and move on for time's sake. And then let's go to, hold on. Okay, here we go. All right. I think we're wrapping it up with this one. I wanted to hear this guy. Wait, is this the one?
Footage from
Hold on. He says pretty much the same thing. But there was another one. Where's Decoy? Did I add Decoy to this? Damn it. Oh, here he is. This guy. Let's go here.
The debate between President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris finally happened, and it got weird fast.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets.
You talk about extreme.
Which brings me to this mysterious earring everybody is talking about, where some people believe it's actually an earphone feeding her information on stage, when in actuality, it was really a $1,000 pair of designer pearl earrings. Which is in line with how they try to portray Kamala as so relatable, while she's wearing another $1,000 designer belt.
Middle class kids, the middle class families, middle class people.
Kamala's campaign perfectly encapsulates limousine liberalism, as nobody going to the grocery store, seeing their receipts doubling in size, believes Biden was good for the economy. The same way nobody sees a rich girl raised in Canada decked out in designer clothes in this economy and thinks she understands the struggles of the middle class. Because even if you are a liberal, you have to admit the fact that old Republicans like Dick Cheney and Mitt Romney supporting Kamala Harris is concerning. Good old Mitt and Dick didn't suddenly become Democrats at age 80. It really just means that Kamala Harris is closer to traditional Republican values than Donald Trump. So if you appreciate my concise, light-order commentary on...
All right. So anyways, yeah, he's another one that pointed out that that ain't happening. And yeah, State of Daniel did the same thing. You know, so I mean, there are base people out there that are just taking their time. They don't want to, you know. Let's see. You know, it's better to know the truth than be right, man. That's all I can tell you, man. Times like this, when these conspiracy ghosts are out there, that'll see you through. Jumping the shark every time, guys. Every time. All right, man. That's what I got for you for this evening. Thank you so much for being here. It does mean a tremendous amount, and whether we agree on everything or not, man, we're all on the same team, and we are all working towards the same goals. And we will get there together. We will persevere over darkness and evil. We will remain in the light of truth. We will take back our reality from those who are trying to steal it, corrupt it, and change it forever. We will win reality together. That we will do. Just keep showing up. Just keep being part of the solution, and we'll work through it. Let's see. What does he say? He has his own version of Tim Pool's meme on his shirt too. They have one version. Yeah, people need to learn the difference between winning an argument and being right. Yeah, just, you know. Again, the evidence is there for these things. That's why I bring them to you guys. Take a look at it, to stay based. That's what we do. That's what we do. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here this evening. Remember to hit the thumbs up on the way out the door, man. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much again for being here. I'll be back. Actually, oh, wait. There's one more thing I wanted to show you. God bless it. I meant to do this earlier tonight. Hold on. One more thing I need to show you. In case you missed it, and maybe I'll show this again tomorrow night, because I probably need to do one more show just to kind of cover the invasion stuff. You know what? I'll tell you what. I'm going to save this for tomorrow night. Yes, there was a protest outside of the debates last night, and it got rowdy. So come back tomorrow night, and I'll show you that rowdy protest that was outside. It was some people that we're very familiar with now. We know them. We've seen them everywhere. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the more well, actually, I didn't get through the Cash Jordan stuff tonight. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna leave tomorrow night open. Just here, I'll tell you what. For you guys who stuck around, little bonus coverage, little bonus. Mass chaos out in front of the DNC. I won't show all of it. I'll show the rest of it tomorrow night. That's what I'll do. Here it is. Check it out.
Go ahead.
And like you even had to guess who it was. Yes, it's our old friends from Socialism in 2024 conference, the Free Palestine queer Marxists right there. There they are with their little hats and their little masks. So I think a lot of these people were there. And wasn't this person in the front row? Is that the sign language lady? Might be. It might be. So there they are. A little bit of that. Yeah, they got all. Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. I'm going to hurt you. They keep chanting the same thing over and over again. This is like that's part of their archetype repetition, right? Overwriting the archetypes. All righty. Cool, guys. Thank you so much for being here this evening. Thanks to each and every one of you. I'll see you next time. And until then, stay based and keep on winning.
I'm going to leave you with this one final message. We're going to win the election. We're going to win it big. We're going to win it bigger than ever before. We're going to do things that nobody believed. It's going to be more important even than 2016. We are going to make America